Hello guys, welcome to my channel Lucid Fanfic, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Izuku's POV. As the light from our warp dissipates, I see a medical room with several beds. I walk up and set Melissa down gently on one of them as I place her glasses on the stand beside it. Still blushing from those soft lips kissing my cheek, I calm down a bit and tell her, "Okay, Melissa, I have the ability to not only heal you, but also remove any scars on your body. Right now, I will message my mother, who is here on the ship as well. She's a nurse, and she will look over your injuries before we start the process. To heal you, all I need do is place my hands on your skin. Thankfully, I don't have to actually touch all of your skin to do it, cause I don't think I am ready for that. Nor do I think you wish me to get handsy with you." Both me and Melissa are blushing as I get a message on my phone from my mother. I look down, and it says she's on her way to check Melissa's injuries, and I simply reply, "Okay." There's a lot of them, so while she does that, I'll step out and talk with Eri. We wait for my mother when Melissa speaks up. "Why did that voice say human Izuku?" I pause for a moment to get my thoughts in a line. "Oh, well, you see, a few days ago, I was in a villain attack. I was much smaller, and like you, truly quirkless and powerless. I had scars on about 85% of my body and green fuzzy hair. I was roughly 5 feet 5 inches, so shorter than you. During the incident, I tried to rescue my main bully, who would always use his explosion quirk on me. Apparently, I failed and died." Pausing to let her absorb that information, I take a deep breath and sigh. Apparently, some ancient godly being known to us as Degoya was watching Earth at that moment. He decided to reverse time until before I was killed, and we spoke. He asked why I would risk my life to save a boy who was so cruel and evil. I just smiled and looked at him. I told him I couldn't just stand there and watch him die. I told him I longed to be a hero, and heroes save everyone. Degoya smiled at my answer and asked me a question that changed my life and more. "What if I gave you the power you seek?" I told him I'd use it to save everyone I could. I guess my honest determination won him over, as he gave me the powers of 10 legendary beings from various worlds. So in short, I'm the very first human this entity has ever encountered. So he tends to refer to me as human. I guess due to the fact he wants to not get the species wrong as he watches over so many worlds. Melissa looked at me with her jaw wide open. "So basically, dude is an alien god and made you insanely overpowered?" I think for a sec, huh? When you put it like that, it makes it sound way weirder than I thought. But yeah, basically. Melissa's still trying to wrap her head round the issue when Mom and Eri enter the room. "Papa!" I hear little Eri scream as she comes running up still and her armor tears flowing from her eyes. She leapt up into my arms. "Hi, Snowball. I'm sorry for scaring you, but I'm okay, I promise." Melissa looked even more confused of the situation. "Papa?" I flash a nervous smile. "Well, last night, I rescued Snowball here from an S-rank villain called Overhaul. Apparently, she's an orphan, and seeing as I was who she latched onto, just decided to adopt her. Oh, and this is my mother, Inko." As I introduced both my mother and Eri to Melissa, Melissa, still not fully understanding everything, just asked the proper question. "Did you sure I ain't dead?" I laughed hard. "Well, I'm pretty sure you're still alive, Melissa. But I digress. Eri, Mom, meet Melissa. She's the girl Degoya sent me to rescue." Eri looks at Melissa, still teary-eyed. "Papa, she almost pretty as Mama Nemyamu." "Oh no, why did I forget that until just now?" "Mama Nemyamu?" asked Melissa with a quirked brow. Sweating bullets, I look from her to Mom, to Eri. "Huh. That's my cue to leave. I'll explain after I come back in to heal you." Walking out as fast as possible with a crimson blush, I could hear my mom cackling. Outside, I look at Eri. "Thanks, Eri," I say with a pout. Eri looks sad and say Eri not mean make Papa sad. "Eri, sorry. Don't be mad at Eri." I freeze and try hugging Eri in her armor. "Eri, I'm not mad at you, and you didn't make me sad. Just my own words, and teasing with Midnight got me into this. Sigh. We'll figure things out." Eri brightened up at that. "Yeah, 'cause Papa's smart." I laugh thinking, why do people say I'm smart, yet I still act like a complete idiot? I'll never understand. Our time skip. My mom exited the room looking pale as a ghost. She explains the injuries to Melissa. I don't think there's a single bone that wasn't broken at some point on the poor girl. For some reason, she wasn't forthcoming on a last name or her quirk, but I think you can heal her now. Also, Eri, we will wait out here so they can talk. Is that okay? Eri pouted, but she nodded. I handed her to Mom and walked into the room to start healing the injuries. Hi, Melissa. Are you ready to get healed? Melissa flinched a bit before she asked, will it hurt? Also, I've broken so many bones through the years, I don't know how effective it will be. I smiled sadly at her. No, it won't hurt, though my powers will completely heal any injury, no matter how old. I'll walk up to her and place a hand under her chin so she'll look me in the eyes. Melissa, no worries, You'll be good as new with no injuries or scars. Then who knows, maybe you'll be even prettier than you already are. Melissa turned a brilliant shade of crimson as she said, hey, Meanie, don't tease the patients with lies. It's not nice, dude. Trying to sound mad, she even gave a cute pout. I laughed. Well, Melissa, to be a lie, it will need to be untrue. Also, we won't know until after we've finished. So, are you ready for your new start? Melissa, still blushing, nodded her head, saying, okay, just do whatever it is you do. I placed my left hand on her cheek and grabbed her hand with my right hand. I started the power to heal her, and soon we both had a green glow to us. I could feel the power working as I sent it all throughout her body. I looked her in the eyes as the glow began to fade. Well, I think we're done with that, but you need to be examined again to see how effective it was. Oh, and no, it wasn't a lie. You look much prettier now, I say as I stood up with Melissa blushing even harder than before. Dude, no teasing. Ugh, can you hand me my glasses and a mirror? I reached to the stand and grabbed them, handing them to her as she refused to. Look at me. She froze after putting her glasses on and looking into the mirror. I guess you really weren't lying then, huh? She said, softly staring at her scarless reflection. She nearly leapt from the bed as she dove to hug me, tears flowing nonstop. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She choked out through her tears, holding on to me. I just held her as I rubbed circles in her back until the crying stopped. You're the only person to ever care for or help me, Izuku. Why? Why go so far for a quirkless freak? I pulled back and stared into her eyes. Melissa froze. Melissa, I spent 14 years quirkless and powerless, was beat down by society, and all my friends abandoned me. Yes, I have powers now. Yes, I am strong now. But neither you nor I are freaks for not winning some stupid lottery and getting quirks. I know your pain, as I too lived your pain. But know this, if you ever need someone to stand with you, if you ever need a hand, I will be there. The only thing I needed to know to rescue you is you needed help. Help you will be given. When we get back to Earth, I'll talk to Nizu and the UA staff. Me, Mom, and Eri will be living there. I will study and train and become a student. Mom is hired as a nurse. I'm sure Nizu will allow you to live with us until you decide what your future will be for yourself. Never let words get you down. Always smile. You got a peeling one, so let it shine. Melissa is still crying, but this time while she was smiling. Thank you. You are a hero. You're my hero, Izuku, she said as she hugged me again. We hear the door open as Mom and Eri enter. Somehow, she talked Eri into taking off her armor. Izuku, if you're done flirting and hugging, Degoya said he wishes to meet Ms. Melissa, she said with a mischievous grin. Melissa and I look at each other and dissolve into blushing messes. MOM, I yelled out, embarrassed, as Melissa mumbles something about no way someone would like or flirt with her. I sigh and pat her head, then help her up. Come on, Melissa, best not to keep the alien god dude waiting. Snapping her out of her funk. Yeah, okay, Izu. I smiled a bit as the four of us head to Degoya. Eri not so quietly whispered to Mom, hey, Grandma, think Melsa and Papa like each other. Well, that did it. That was the straw that fried my brain. Thump. This floor is not soft. I yell in my head, Eri, you broke him. Again. I hear my mom say as I look over to see Melissa in a similar state. I pick myself up and help Melissa to her feet. Hee kids? I say with a shaky smile, trying to lighten up the mood. Yeah, unicorn kids say the darndest things, she said in a weird mix of emotions. We slowly make our way to the room with Degoya in it. Before I open the door, I advise Melissa to be relaxed, but warn her that Degoya's appearance may be a bit to take in at first. She nods with a shaky smile as she grabs my hand and squeezes. I sigh and open the door. A human Izuku and human Melissa. How are we today? He says with a warm smile on his face. Izuku, that's a giant blue dude with silver hair and eyes. Right? I smile. Yes, Melissa, that is Degoya. She nods her head, then answers. Free at last and safe. So I'm all good. Also sorry if I was rude. I didn't mean to be. Degoya chuckled at this. Well, human Melissa, shielded is all right. No harm done. But I wanted to ask you something, if that was all right before you all head out. Flinching at her last name, Melissa holds my hand tighter. Yes, sir. It's okay. She says. My mom looked confused at hearing Melissa's surname. Well, human Melissa, I wish to know, are you familiar with All Might? Where is Quark? Melissa froze. Uncle Might? Yes, I'm familiar. He is David's former partner when they were heroes together a long time ago. But not as Quark, no. I never knew what it was. Degoya smiled fondly. Melissa, it's all right. No harm will come to you. I'm glad to know you are just as honest as human Izuku. Though I feel I should explain something about All Might and his quirk. He then unleashed a flood of information that made me, Melissa, and most of all Mom incredibly angry. I stand to my full height and snarled out, you mean the number one hero was just as quirkless as Melissa and myself? Yet hates quirkless? Before Degoya could say anything, Ares spoke up. What quirk? They like Ares' curse? This dropped the temperature of the room down as I spun round and knelt in front of Aerie. Your curse? What do you mean, Aerie? Aerie looked down at the ground and shuffled her feet. Overhaul, say Aerie curse. Say Aerie make her dad vanish with her curse. Degoya and I look at one another before he spoke. Aerie, little one, you are not cursed. You just like most of the humans on Earth have something called a quirk. Special powers that came from years of evolution. Remember when Grandma Inko flew as she opened her gift? That was her mother's quirk. I just gave it to her, but made it stronger. Aerie thought on it before she spoke. So Grandma, Aerie, and Papa not cursed? We have quirk. I took a sharp inhale. Sorry, Aerie, but unlike you and Grandma, both me and Melissa have no quirks. My powers belong to special people on different worlds, but they aren't a quirk. Only you and Grandma have quirks. Not even Degoya has a quirk. Aerie took a moment to think on that. Oh, okay, Papa, was all she said, causing me and Melissa to fall again. Really? That's all the unicorn has to say about us, not having quirks, Aizu? I smile a bit. I guess so. You have to remember, Melissa, Aerie here is not like most kids. She was basically held hostage her whole life by a nut job who tortured her and taught her nothing. Unlike most kids who have society telling them quirkless, and those with certain quirks are bad or freaks, she's essentially a blank slate. I say as I stand back up. But men like your father and All Might are the root cause for this. All Might had no quirk and was gifted one somehow, and used that to become the number one hero while forgetting he was quirkless. If I had it my way, I'd throttle that fool and force him to tell the world the truth. I said try my best to not let my anger take hold. Degoya, after watching this play out, spoke next. What if you could do that? I stopped dead, then turned around. What do you mean, Degoya? He smiled. Before he said human Izuku Midoriya, or rather Izuku Shimura, grandson of Nana Shimura. You can easily beat All Might in a fight. Ironic as the grandson of his MSTR, the one who gave him his quirk, I think we shall do just that. When you return to Earth, there will be a letter waiting in your room with a location on it. Go to that location. You will meet someone I'm sending to Earth to help you. Then after you clean Dagoba Beach, as planned, I will give you the location of Nana's grave. Bring her to me, and we will use my power to restore Nana Shimura. Meet him on both freeze. But you said you couldn't revive her? I said as I gaze into his silver eyes. True, because I can't go to her. But if you bring her body to me, I could bring her back to life easily. Gauging from how fast your body is adapting to your power, I think you can do it in, say, 1 Earth month. While you're doing that, Inko Shimura, I have an idea on how we can force All Might into a fight with your son. Don't worry as of now, even in base form Izuku can beat All Might, so in a month, when he's even stronger, there's no way Izuku could lose the fight for now after he goes to meet the man I am sending to Earth. I want you to give this to both human Shota, Aizawa, and Chimera Nizu. It details the list of crimes All Might and David Shield both have committed and has videos and photos that can be used to force a fight and arrest them both. I look at Mom, as she has noticeable fear and anger in her eyes, but she simply says yes. We will bring down the corrupt symbol of peace. Izuku, when you fight him, make it hurt not just his body. Destroy his spirit. Degoya smiles and chuckles. Oh, he will. Tell him you're Nana's grandson, and you've come to take OFA from him and give it to a worthy, true successor. As well, let him see Nana during the fight near the end. We must not allow the fight to happen before we have brought Nana back. Also, Inko Shimura. Stick with human Shota, Aizawa. With his quirk, he would make the perfect bodyguard. We must stay careful until all the pieces are in place. Then we allow the world's eyes to be opened. I look at Melissa, then Mom showing them the inferno of willpower in my eyes. We will. No one who hurts the ones I care forever will get away with it. David hurt Melissa for same reason Bakugo hurt me. All Might hurt her and me, as well as Mom and Nana by going back on his vow to Nana, which gave him his quirk in the first place. I will unleash hell on him in ways no mortal man ever faced. Mom, tell Eraserhead, if he fails to protect you, that he will have my full fury faced his way. No one could protect him, and nowhere on earth would he be safe. I said as I reached down and picked up Eri. Tell him that against Overhaul, I only used 1% of my true strength. Melissa's POV. I gazed at my savior and saw his impossibly strong conviction. He truly meant every word he said. He even considered me, a quirkless freak with no power, to be someone he cared about. I have a feeling this young boy, only a few years my junior, was truly as close to being a god as any mortal being could be if he right now could easily beat Trash Might to the ground. As well, he is incredibly brave. He rescued me, the people on that plane, and Eri facing off against powerful villains with relative ease. We all turned to the smiling Degoya. Well, I think it's about time you all went back to Earth and got the preparations underway, yeah? We agreed as he used his power to warp us back to Earth. Izuku's POV. As the light vanished, we saw we were back in our small apartment. I turned to Mom and said, can you get a hold of Nizu and tell him we need to come to UA? My mom smiled as she said, oh, Izuku, I'll do more than that. I'll tell him this concerns one for all, Nana Shimura, David, and the recently rescued Melissa Shield, and more until he has no choice but to let us come to UA. I chuckled as I turned to Melissa. See, Mel? Told you. Everything would turn out in the end. She smiled as she hugged me and Mom and Eri. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for me, Aizu. Inko, I know your boy here will not let us down. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes the next #1 hero in the world. My mom beamed a bright, wide smile. Don't I know it? I always believed in him, even when his dad left us. I warned Hisashi. Never come back to Japan, Cos. When Izuku is older, he will make him rue the day he turned his back on us. I knew he would even without powers, but now, my baby boy is already stronger than that fool of a hashtag. I blush as I head to my room with Melissa in tow. We looked for the note and found it on my bed. It said to head to a place in America called Death Valley. I grinned as I looked at Melissa. Looks like I'm on a field trip. You want to head with Mom to UA to handle the rest, as this will take me about 2 or 3 hours to go there and back. Melissa smiled a bit sad, but still said, okay, Aizu. I'd rather go with you, but I figure it's better to stick with your mom and the unicorn here, so that we can get everything set. Plus, I think it is too risky for me to be in America right now. I smiled at her as I asked Eri, when you're going to head to UA, I want you to put the armor Grandpa Degoya gave you on, okay, Eri? Don't take it off until I get back with the person it's supposed to find. All right, Snowball. Eri shows her fiery eyes and smiles, ya papa. I promise. Ooh, when Eri at UA, can Eri take pretty Melsa to Mama Nemumu? Oh, so close. I almost got out before my next series of heart attacks began. I sweat dropped and looked at Melissa. Well, that's up to Midnight. Also, please ask Midnight to explain as I would have, but things happened and gotta go fetch an alien. I smile shakily as I pray Melissa doesn't think I'm like married to Midnight or something. Oh, so Mama Nemumu is Midnight? Okay, I guess. So, Aizu. She said sadly for some reason. Okay, I'll go to Mom and tell her what is happening, then head to Death Valley. As I handed Eri to Melissa before bolting from the room, I find Mom, smiling, arms in the air, almost like a victory pose. I quickly hug her before telling her where I am going and to take Melissa and Eri with her, before rushing from the house, no doubt leaving her very confused. Inko's POV. Well, the walking blush known as Izuku quickly came to me told me he is flying to some place called Death Valley and to head to UA with Melissa and Eri. Then flew out of the house. So, oh yeah, I turn around and head to his and Eri's room. As I got to the door, I see a sad Melissa holding a smiling Eri, and I figure that she just learned that Mama Nemimu is midnight. Melissa, you okay? I ask her as she quickly puts up a smile and says, yeah, just the super tornado, known as Izuku, dropped some knowledge and took off. I smile softly. Okay, well, when we get to UA, I'll head to Nizu, and you Miss Eri will take Melissa to midnight and try and sort this out. Deal? Melissa nods, and Eri smiles bright, saying, yeah, then pretty Mama Melsa meet Mama Nemimu. Luckily, I managed to catch Eri about a split second before Melissa fainted. Oh! Mama Melsa fall down. I laugh at my granddaughter's antics while she got some sudden news. Now help me get her up so we can go to UA, okay? Eri smiles and chirps as she jumps down and puts her armor on, saying, Papa said to put it on until he get back. I laugh as I reach down and nudge Melissa's arm, trying to wake her up. After a few minutes, she comes to. Well, how's the floor feeling there, Mama Melsa? I asked with a mischievous grin. Seeing Melissa's reaction was rather hilarious. She was neon red. Oh, so she calls all girls Mama, but you? I cackle. No, she just doesn't fully know what is going on. Though she might do that, actually. After all, the only girls she knows are me, Midnight, and you, so. Maybe? We stand up and start to head off towards UA. As we walk through the door to UA, I see both Aizawa and Mike in the entrance. Hello, Shimura. Eri and blonde girl I do not know. Holler Mike as Aizawa facepalm Mike. That's not even. Never mind. Miss Shimura, we were told to take you straight to Mr. Fuzzy Ratman's office. I take it Eri will be going to Recovery Girl along with this girl? I smile. Well, you see. One small nuclear-powered explanation later. Oh, I see. Well, young Melissa, I'll send Mike with you to take you both to Namuri's office. Mike looked upset. But what about Mr. Fuzzy Ratman's order? He asked before Aizawa used his quirk. Shut it, Mike. Consider it payback for your crappy introduction to young Melissa here. Plus you get to see a blushing Namuri. Surely that should suffice, right? Mike just drops his shoulders and pouts, all right, but I wanted to do something important too. Well, come with me, young Eri and Melissa. We'll go see Midnight. Eri laughs as she yells out, yay, Eri get to show Mama Melsa to Mama Nemimu, causing Melissa to blush as both Aizawa and Mike trip. Oh, Aizawa, you all right? Here, let me help you up, and we'll go see Mr. Fuzzy Ratman. Aizawa, looking paler than usual, just accepts the help, and we take off. Thanks. Did Eri just say? I quickly interrupt him. Don't ask, Aizawa. That's between them. Plus, I have my hopes up, and you will not ruin this for me. With a cheery smile as I release a small amount of motherly wrath, watching him pale, and stutter out a, okay, Miss Shimura. I swear I could see his soul trying to leave his body as we walked to Nizu's office, hearing the rat cackling long before we got there. Aizawa's POV. After my 50th heart attack from whatever problem child's mother just did, and hearing the rat cackling like a serial killer, we finally get there, and only thing I can think the whole way is I'm in trouble. Before we reach the door, I turn to Miss Shimura and bow as I try and beg forgiveness for whatever I did, and please not take my soul. We hear the door start to open. I look up to a confused Miss Shimura and then turn to the door to see a skeletal, thin blonde buffoon and Fuzzy Ratman on Mr. Fuzzy Ratman. I have brought Nurse Inko to talk as ordered, sir. I get a familiar feeling from the skeleton like I've met him before, but can't quite place him. Nizu smiles okay. Thank you, Aizawa. Tashinori, it was nice to talk, but as you can see, I must attend to some business now with our new school nurse. Please wait in the conference room so we can finish our talk from before. The skeleton, now referred to as Tashinori, blinks a few times after staring at Miss Shimura, which seemed rather rude before he spoke. Oh, of course, Nizu, sir. I will head there now. He steps out of the way to allow Miss Shimura to enter the office. Before he starts to leave, I activate my quirk at him, glaring daggers. It's very rude to stare at women, Mr. Tashinori. Not giving him a chance to reply, I walk inside and slam the door in his face. Nizu's POV. Well, this is a welcome sight. A very serious Inko Shimura and a confused Eraserhead. I watched as Mike was made to take Eri and the blonde girl known as Melissa to Midnight's office through the monitor, so that explains some part. Now I wonder. Now, Miss Shimura, to what do I owe this visit today? As all you said on the phone was it involved Nana Shimura, OFA, All Might, and the Shields, both David and Melissa. Might I guess that the young girl you came here with was the formerly thought of deceased Melissa Shield? Miss Shimura nodded before letting out a deep exhale. She reached in her pocket to grab something as she said, "That is a good guess, but yes. Also so many worse things. But first, I have a present for you from Degoya. He requests personally that you review this information as well as that we do nothing about it until my son is finished clearing Degoya." In her hands was a technological marvel, a white color disc with a small button on it. I reach out and grab the disc and place it on my desk. As she continues, also while Izuku is cleaning said beach, he requests that you assign Aizawa here to act as my personal guard, for reasons you will soon discover on said disc. Oh, and Aizawa. Izuku said to tell you this, inform Eraserhead that if any harm befalls my mother, Melissa, or Eri, that I will unleash my full power on him. That what I defeated Overhaul with was but 1% of my true strength. So he better not fail. So, I think that's all I was supposed to tell you, Aizawa. I cackle as Aizawa pales and shrinks down. Oh, Aizawa, I never fails a mission, but on the off chance he does, I bequeath his kitten mug to you, Miss Shimura. Aizawa glares at me, but doesn't say anything as I focus my attention to the strange disc. I tap the button, and suddenly the room is flooded with light. Hello, Chimera Nizu and Human Aizawa. I am Degoya. This disc contains all known instances of crimes committed by Toshinori Yagi, also known as All Might, and his former psychic David Shield. There's files as well as video and photos to be used as evidence when the time comes to arrest them. I am sure Inko Shimura has said her messages, so now I will show you not only their crimes, but our plan to bring him to justice. Be warned, Chimera Nizu, you will not allow anyone to make a move on either party until Izuku Shimura is prepared and returns with our guests. Two legends, one from Earth, and one from a planet millions of light years away called Ishkumbala. By my estimates, it will take 1 month to get all the preparations complete. Human Aizawa, I requested you specifically to guard Melissa's shield, Inko Shimura, and my granddaughter, Eri Shimura. Before you ask, no, I'm not related to her. She made this simple request to call me her grandfather, and I agreed. Make no mistake, though, Human Aizawa, I may not be related to little Eri, but should any harm befall her, I will erase you from this world. Do I make myself clear? Good. Now on to the information. Shortly after receiving one for all from Nana Shimura, Toshinori Yagi began to change. He let his quirk go to his head. I'm sure you remember reading up on a case of a quirkless girl being found raped and crushed beyond recognition roughly 1 month after Yagi received one for all. Now Yagi told you that this girl was his quirkless friend from the same neighborhood, and one of the leading causes for his failed quirkless homes charity he created to build homes for the quirkless. The truth is far darker. Yagi, being young and full of hormones, remembered the quirkless girl as his only friend at his school. Her name was scrubbed from files at her school, and her family never found out about her. Unlike Yagi, who had a horrible childhood, this girl had a relatively normal childhood. Her name was Keiko Inoue. She stood a good chance at being a successful member of society, even while quirkless, which the young Yagi always felt angry about the path her life was taking over his own. He used his quirk at full strength to break down the door to the dorm she was staying in and kidnap her. He spent the next 12 hours beating and raping her. At the end of it, instead of letting her go, as that would ruin his chances to become a hero, he used a massive attack to crush her, leaving her unrecognizable. It is not the last of such cases. Many times he would find and do this throughout both Japan and America. I'm sure you realize what this means, right? I have videos my equipment could recreate of the events as photos. I will not show them until THR into this video, as I am sure Inko Shimura is watching this video. So if Miss Shimura would rather leave now, we can go through the list of the crimes, then show you the evidence. I see the dread on Miss Shimura's face, as she clearly does not want to be any part of the list of information. I tell her and Aizawa to head to Recovery Girl's office for now. that I would then bring them back after I finished reviewing the evidence. Luckily, they didn't argue as they left. I saw pure rage building up in Aizawa, as I figured he had deduced who I was in the office with before they showed up. I knew then, and that it's going to be very difficult to keep him from trying to arrest All Might before the proper time. Inko's POV. The first case was more than enough to make me sick to my stomach. That could have been Izuku if things were different. A 50-50 chance if Izuku was born female and not male, he could have been one of Trash Might's numerous victims. Hell, that could have happened to Melissa if she hadn't been imprisoned by her father. Aizawa, I know you're just as enraged as I am, but you must fulfill Degoya's request. We must leave this to Izuku to solve. He already is stronger than All Might, and according to Degoya, can beat him in a fight with ease. The plan they have come up with is perfect. They will completely out him to the public. We will force a fight between them. The two legends will be needed as well. Trust me, one of them All Might knows very well. Believe me, when that person comes to the battle, Trash Might will be left a bumbling, crying mess on global TV. We will take this symbol of hypocrisy and turn him into a sacrificial figure. We will take his quirk and give it to a rightful heir, one who honors the other 7 that carried OFA. But I do make a simple request. Seek out a retired hero named Gran Torino. I need to speak with him. He was my mother's teammate long ago, but we've lost touch after such a long time. He can aid you in keeping us safe. Please, show you to Aizawa, find Gran Torino for me. I need him here when the grandson of Nana Shimura reclaims the honor All Might stole from OFA. I begged as tears fell. I was shocked when suddenly I was wrapped in a hug. Very well. I will make sure I fulfill this request. I do not know this Gran Torino, but I will move heaven and earth to find him for you. It obviously means more to you than anything at this moment. Know this, Inko Shimura. I may be a hard case and rude to many, but I never go back on my word, and I never lie. I give you my word I will find him and bring him to you once more. I knew he would do it. His drive is almost as powerful as Izuku's. I may not have known him long, but I'd be a fool to not believe him. I cried into his shoulder until all my tears were gone. I blush as I realize we must have been hugging in the hallway for some time. Aizawa, I think we should go to Recovery Girl's office now. Don't you think? Apparently surprising Aizawa as well. He wraps his scarf a bit higher on his face as he jumps back. Oh yeah, let's do that. We quickly walk towards the infirmary. Izuku's POV. I finally arrived at the place known as Death Valley in America. Oddly enough, it didn't look like how I imagined it. I start traveling to the exact location on the map, but before I get close, I see a sight I wasn't anticipating. A huge pile of unconscious villains with a giant sat atop them holding the swords I use in his hands. Well, be you friend or foe, young one? Asked the giant with a deep voice as if he was speaking from the depths of the earth itself. Huh. Well, I don't know who you are, sir, but gauging from fact you're wielding the Comet Sword and the Dintral Blade, as well you have Musashi on your hip, I'd have to say I'm a friend. The giant laughed as he looked down at me, seeming impressed. Well, so you're the boy Degoya gave my powers to. That's good. Gauging from what he told me, you have a vast wellspring of will and determination. Let's put that to the test. If you are keen enough to inspire the god in his gilded prison, then let's make sure you have the power to complete the mission he is preparing you for. I watch as this unnamed giant leapt down from the pile as I use my pocket dimension to summon those exact swords to my side. Well, you wouldn't exactly be a hero of legend if you weren't willing to fight and prove yourself, huh? Very well, predecessor, let's pit our metal against one another. Staring at him with my eyes of blazing inferno. The giant laughs, ha. Legend? I don't know about that, but hell of a fighter sure. Now enough talk. Let Blade meet Blade, young one. He emits a deadly aura even stronger than that devil's. My spine shivers as I smile. Well, our blades may meet, but no matter the cost, I will win. With a smile as my grandmother always did. The giant tilted his head and quirked a brow as I lunged forward, swiping the blades at his, slamming together with a massive concussive shockwave blasting out. The giant grunts and smiles. Well, you're a strong one, boy. But it takes more than just strength and ideals to be a hero. I laugh. Oh, I know. It takes both, as well as conviction, to use one's strengths to bring their ideals to fruition. Kindness as well as willingness to die, to protect those they are fighting for, and when times draw near for them to fight, they must be willing to end the battle and the foe if necessary. While it's best to never kill, it's not always a feasible solution. The giant smiles at me. All right, newbie, let's see how you stack up. He began to glow as his aura flares to life. This power that saved an entire planet was now going to focus solely upon me. I charge my aura as well and ready my blades. Eyes focused on him in an effort to see any attack he will use. Time for a new attack I created after you gain my powers. He roared as he flashed a brilliant red, appearing to grow a bit larger as steam radiated from him. I stay on guard and watch, trying to figure out his strategy. Suddenly behind him stands a form similar to the man, but a little different. It drew the Musashi as it started to charge me. I smiled. I see. So that's your planned predecessor. Unfortunately, that won't work. I quickly slash my swords backwards, only to be met by his blades. How? How did you figure out my plan? He asked, causing me to laugh more. You said it was a new attack, yet it's so similar to one of your old ones, where you bluff with an illusion. Yet now it's not exactly an illusion, is it? No. Now it's your true fighting spirit manifested in reality. But soon as it leapt forward, I noticed it was slower than I was anticipating with all the build-up. Based on all your known technique, speed is the highest rating. You would never ignore your immense speed in place of power. So I knew based on those factors that it was a ploy to unleash a massive ambush attack from my blind spot. But in case you didn't notice the way I held the blades, the comet sword was placed so I could see the reflection behind me, that way to counter any sneak attacks. The giant bellowed a massive laugh. Well done. Seems even my newest technique was countered by my lack of information. Degoya purposefully kept the intelligence you possess a secret. Here I was thinking you were at best a slightly above average level intellect, 14-year-old child. You humans aren't that different from my own species, with similar level intelligence, but differ in size and strength and definitely speed. Even among my species, my speed is beyond normal. So I deem you a success. My bluff was all I had. Cost this technique is only a fatal one. I would never be able to unleash it fully without the end result being mine or my opponent's death. Now as for your obvious question, I am Lionheart Bloodrage, the last of my clan, the savior of Ishkumbala and slayer of Tengen Black. I was the one to come closest to slaying Degoya's greatest enemy. Well-met successor Izuku Shimura. He stood at his full height of 9 feet, 8 inches, towering over even trash might himself. Well-met Lionheart Bloodrage. It's an honor to meet you. We smiled as he reached out to shake my hand. His hand swallowing mine to the point it looked as if nothing was in his hand. Well, young Shimura, did a Degoya mention how we're to get to Mustafa, Japan? 'Cause I got nothing, as never been to this planet before. He smiled sheepishly. I laughed. Well, about that. I flew here on my own, so I figured why not fly back with you. Lionheart laughed. Well, if you're strong enough to carry my heavy iron scent, but all the way there, then let's get going. Oh, I forgot. He paused and walked back round the pile of unconscious villains and came back carrying his staff. This belonged to the greatest mage on my planet. He was named Tempestuous Vorpal, and this staff has powers that could greatly help your new friend. What was her name again? Melissa, right? I smiled. A gift for Melissa. Huh. I'm sure she will love it. Well, this is a surprise. While we're flying there, you can fill me in on the various techniques and uses of it. Then when we get to UA, I can give it to her. Lionheart laughed. I'll do you one better and just give you the book I wrote about him throughout the years. I set an auto-translate spell on there filled with all known Earth languages, so she or anyone you will it to can read it. I know she doesn't have any powers, but at least this way she can start to train something to help her defend herself. Plus, not gonna lie, this twig is near unbreakable. I still remember watching that mage hit a full cube of diatro metal and not even making a scratch on his staff. He shivered at the thought, which made me think that cube of metal wasn't the only thing he tested that staff on. Okay, Lionheart. Guess we should head out now. I also could carry you there, but I have my own pocket dimension that I can place those things in, and you can hop inside to make the journey faster and easier on you. Lionheart laughed. Well, it sounds like taking the easy way out, but if it gets us there fast, and there's no risk to me, then let's do it, little Izuku. He bellowed out a laugh. I pouted. Not that little. Lionheart laughed. And take it easy, just lightening the mood, young. Izuku. Now let's get going, as this task we've been given won't complete itself on its own. I opened my pocket dimension as I placed the book and staff inside, and Lionheart walked in. There's air in here, right? He asked with a nervous grin on his face. I laughed my butt off. You mean you're only asking that now? Well, who knows? I say as I shut the pocket dimension. He probably gonna regret my prank, but oh well, time to head to UA. I take off into the sky after calling in about the villains in Death Valley. I activate Shining Mode to reach UA even sooner than I got here, and take off as sonic booms erupt. SPOV. I sat on the roof of UA since I had a free PRD now. My thoughts wandering about. Many to news events I saw the past few days. About the small green-haired boy who just suddenly grew to be a huge blue-haired man in a fraction of a second and rescued a boy from a sludge villain. Then the same boy said he's quirkless after easily blasting the villain apart with a single punch. Then just last night, that same boy defeated several villains, and even an S-ranked one who merged with two others to turn into a freaking kaiju, all to rescue a single 5-year-old girl. When I saw the news during class, that same boy is thought to have rescued a plane full of people from a giant monster and 7 fighter jets with laser weaponry. Just who is that boy? Why did he seem so familiar? I suddenly started hearing sonic booms erupting, and look in the direction they started from. No, freaking way. Izuku's POV. I flew faster and faster, and soon reached campus not but 30 minutes after taking off. Probably could have gotten here faster, but not quite used to this new level of power. I quickly fly down towards the front doors, and soon as I landed, I hear a girl's voice. Hey you. You're the kid all over the news, right? I look up to see a tall girl with long light blue hair was slowly falling towards me as a golden energy swirled round her arms and legs. Oh, what the hell? I jump back out of shock, trying to figure out what's happening when she screams as the energy she was producing suddenly stopped. Oh no, I said as I jump up to catch her before dropping down to the courtyard again. Phew, thank goodness. You okay, miss? I ask as she slowly opens her eyes. Yeah. Wait, how do we land safely? I sigh. I jumped up and caught you before you hit the ground. Now, to answer your first question, yes, I'm the kid you're thinking of. Now, who might you be, miss? She blushes as she realizes and holding her and jumps out of my arms. Oh, yeah. I'm Nijire Hato of Class 2A. Nice to meet you, newsboy. 2 quick questions. What's your name, and why do you seem so familiar to me? I sweat drop. Well, first, I am Izuku Shimura. Second, I guess I seem familiar because you literally called me newsboy and asked if I was a kid in the news. She stopped for a second after I said my name, and then started pouting no Zuku. I meant, do you maybe know me, or have we met before cause you seem very familiar to me? Oh, that's what she meant. I might stop and think about it. Nijire, what's your quirk called? She stopped for a moment, looks at me. Wave motion. Why? I stand dumbstruck. Okay, about 7 or 8 years ago. Do you remember when you was chased into a forest in Mustafa by an angry explosion using kid that looked like a Pomeranian? She gets wide-eyed. Yeah. How did you know? I smiled. Do you remember how you got away from the Pomeranian? She thinks for a second. Oh, that's right, a kid with green hair and eyes and freckles came out of nowhere and pushed the Boom Boom Boy away from me. He told me to run and got beat up by the explosive kid and some of his friends as I hid behind a tree nearby. I smiled. Well, there's your answer. I was that little boy. I got beat up, but after Bakuho and his cronies left, you came out and walked up to me. You asked if I was okay and helped me to my feet. I laughed and said, yeah, I was fine, then asked if he was all right. You just hugged me and cried for a while before you spoke again. You said you was okay, but you asked me why I helped you. Do you remember what I said? Nijire didn't even need a moment to think of the words I said back then. She just beamed up at me. Oh yeah, because you looked like you needed it, and I'm used to Bakugo's explosions, so I had no problem helping you out. Wait, wasn't that the name of the kid you saved from the sludge villain? I laughed. Yep, I saved the angry Pomeranian. Because he needed help, and regardless of how he was my main bully, I couldn't stand by and do nothing when someone needed help. I aim to be a hero, and a hero's job is to save everyone they are able to, no matter if they know or even like them. Nijire smiled. Wow, still a deep thinker, Hazuku? To be honest, I only even joined UA because I remembered that incident. I couldn't remember your name, but the action of taking that beating to save me and telling me why you did it, that inspired me to be a hero. But I never knew you were quirkless. If I did, I would have tried to look for you and help you. I smiled. Well, Miss Hato, I thank you for remembering me, and I am glad I helped you find your path in life. But it's all right. I didn't save you that day to try and gain a periwinkle hair guardian angel or anything. I just needed help, so I helped. But knowing if we had spoke more, and if I'd said my quirk status, you'd be willing to help me, makes me smile. Many quirkless rarely reach even my age anymore these days, due to being murdered or suicide or what have you. But if you keep up with that conviction, you most definitely will become a great hero one day. She smiled and blushed at me. Thank you. But it's Nijire to you, Zuku. After all, we're friends, right? I smiled at that. Well, twist my arm, why don't you? Guess so, Nijire. After all, with a request from such a gorgeous girl, I'd be a fool to not acquiesce. I say with an overly exaggerated bow. She blushed even more as she let out a squeal. Zuki, you grew up to be a charmer, and a handsome one at that. Well, Lord Zuku, whenever you join UA, we're definitely going to be eating lunch together every day. You got it, she says as the bell rings in the distance. I flash a million-watt smile. Deal, Lady Nijire. Now, if I'm not mistaken, your bell rang, so you've a class to head to, right? Better head there, so you're not late. Nijire laughed a bit. Deal, but first let me see your phone. Confused and not wanting to make her late, I unlock my phone and hand it to her. In a flash of her fingers, she speed-typed something in the phone, then handed it to me and gave me a hug, surprising me. I hugged her back, still confused about what's going on. We released the hug, and she waved before running off. I shrug and check my phone to see what she did, and she added her number to my contacts, and it took exactly a half-second for my brain to realize it before I turned into a sputtering mess. Holy hell, I got a girl's number. Wait, what the hell did I do to manage that? Why don't I pay attention when I say things? I yell in my head before I remember I'm supposed to meet Mom, Melissa, and Ari here before heading home. I rush inside and make my way to Recovery Girl's office. I head into the office and freeze. CRP now, I remember the one thing I was dreading. As standing, there was not just Recovery Girl, Mom, Melissa, Ari, and Aizawa, but Midnight, and both her and Melissa were blushing messes looking about to have panic attacks. Oh, kill me now. I droop down as suddenly Ari notices me pop your back. She screamed as she ran and jumped up to me. Oof, hey. Snowball, little warning next time. I said as I catch her. She just smiled and nods. I can't help but smile back at her. Oh, Papa, come on, Mama. Melsa met Mama Nemyamu. Seriously, kill me now. So I did not sign up for this with that tease this morning. As I hear twin squeaks from Midnight and Melissa, I sigh and smile as I walk toward them. Hi, everyone. I'm back from America. Now I didn't have time to get everyone gifts. Sorry, Ari, but I did pick up our guest, so when we return home, I'll introduce him to you all. Ari pouted when I said didn't get gifts, but she looked me square in the eye and said, it's okay, Papa, there's always next time, right? I laugh nervously, yeah, that's right. I said as I quickly realized I did it again and got pulled into something Cass was trying to be funny. Seriously, the hell do I say things for again? My mom laughs, obviously realizing just what I thought. There you go again, causing havoc, trying to be a jokester. Serious Izuku, did you not learn your lesson this morning? She teased with a Cheshire grin. Really, Mom, not even a moment's rest from teasing. Please, some psycho, please run in and stab me in the face, so I die, or at least lose ability to speak. I plead to the universe. Yes, sorry, but that won't work. You'll remember Izuku Shimura? I freeze before thinking, oh, that's true, oh wait. Degoya? Oh, CRP, I forgot you can read my thoughts. Sweat dropping as I did so. Luckily, my mom laughed and chose to speak. It's fine. Anyway, are you ready to head back home, Izuku? I smile and nod as no longer trusting my mouth to speak smart things. Everyone but Recovery Girl start making our way to the entrance. As we stop, I see Ari handing my phone to Midnight, and before I can panic on that crisis, my mom speaks up. So, did everything go well in Death Valley, Izuku? I answer, Yeah, Mom, also, I got something from Melissa from Lionheart, as he specifically was instructed to bring it along and give it to Melissa. Melissa, hearing this, perked up and asked why would he do that? What's this gift? I laughed a bit before I spoke. Well, Mel, you're just going to have to be patient, and when we get home, you'll find out. Causing her to pout. I smiled. Don't be like that, Mel. Trust me, good things come to those who wait. Isn't that right, Ari? Ari perked up and nodded, saying that right, Mama Melsa, so just wait and Pop will show you when home. Melissa pouted more before smile. Okay, but this gift from the alien dude better be worth it, Aizu. I laughed. Yeah, the gift from the alien dude is definitely worth it. Let's just say with it you won't be as powerless as you think anymore. I don't know in what ways, but Miyu and Lionheart will definitely figure things out. We chuckled as Midnight handed Ari back my phone. She smiled at me and said, well, that's a good thing, right, Midoriya Cohen? Besides, as you say, good things always come to those who wait, she said with a wink and a giggle. I blushed as I just nod my head, still not trusting empty mouth to say smart wordy words just yet. Mom cackled as she pushed me out the door. Okay, bye for now, Aizawa. We'll talk later, Namiri. As Melissa was taking up the rear, we started making our way back to that little apartment we call home, which now has to house 5 instead of 2, but luckily in a few days' time we will be moving to UA. Melissa's POV. After talking with Midnight and getting the situation of why Ari calls her Mama Nemyamu, and learning of how Namiri really is when not in her Midnight personality, things got a lot more defined. She acts like a 16-years-old version in reality, even though she acts like a super KNKY slattern when in character. We talked, and she explained both how she met Aizu and the situation with Ari. Now I understand a bit better the scene, though I can see why she is so smitten with Aizu. He's not only powerful beyond belief, he is kind, honest, and his conviction to save everyone he can and willingness to die to do so is like a knight from a romance story. Wonder how things will go. Thought I was the only one who liked him. Sigh. But how can a quirkless freak like me, who spent years imprisoned and tortured by her own father, ever hope to compete with her? Ugh. Why can't I stop thinking about this? Sigh. Well, we're almost at Aizu's home now, so at least we get to meet the alien legend dude. I do wonder what this supposed gift is going to be. Mama Melsa, we home now? Squealed Ari, shocking me out of my thoughts. I blushed brightly. Okay, Ari. Hee. So Aizu, when do we get to meet the alien guy? I say in an effort to change topic. I look at Aizu, who just smiled brightly, then looks shocked for a second after he stepped inside. Oh, CRP, I forgot all about that. He yells before opening his pocket dimension. A giant falls out flat on his face. I mean, what to this dude is almost 10 foot tall and nothing but muscles that put even trash mites to shame. Haha, curse you, brat. You could have warned me before opening that thing. I was freaking out in there for minutes, holding my breath. Few thought my freaking successor was going to kill me before we got here. He stood up, towering over us all. Little Unicorn squeezed Aiza tighter as she looked at the man. Is that ISC going to hurt Ari? She squeaked. I look at her, then Aizu, as I cork a brow. No, Ari. He's not going to hurt you. I know he's big and all, but he's that nice? I sigh. That was more of a question than an answer. The giant deadpanned, then gently reached a hand out to Ari. No, young one, I will not hurt any here. He opened his massive hand, and inside was a strange doll. Is that I asked this for Ari? Ari asked quietly. Yes. I wouldn't arrive without gifts for all of you. It's not proper. I learned my lesson from my wife, Cerulia, many years back. This little Ari is a special gift. If you say the words, protect me, Wolf's Claw, this will turn into a valiant warrior to protect you from any danger. He will fight for you or carry you from any danger. I designed him after my father. He was very strong, almost as strong as me. He should be powerful enough to handle anything that tries to hurt you. We all paused as Ari slowly reached out for the tiny doll. It was like a plushie, but looked a bit like the alien dude. On its back was a sword, and in its hand was a book. Thank you, Grandpa Lion, she said with a brilliant smile. The alien dude, who Aizu said was Lionheart, something smiled as he patted her head. Next, the giant turned to Ms. Inko. For the mother of my successor, I have this. He waved his hand, a green crystal popped out. What's this, Mr. Lionheart? She asked, cautiously grabbing the brilliant green crystal. This, Ms. Inko Shimura, is a barrier spell. Simply say barrier and an unbreakable barrier will pop up around you in any size and shape needed to cover you and anyone or anything you wish to protect. Inko looked shocked but quickly bowed after clutching the crystal to her chest. Thank you very much, she said as Lionheart smiled. Oh, it's no trouble, but I know what you mean to little Aizu there, as well as the situation. This is added protection for in case that BAS. Ahem, that bad man might try to harm you to... He coughed to prevent cursing in front of Eri, who smiled, clutching the doll thing to her chest in a cute little hug. Oh yes, I was given these by Lionheart for you, Melissa, shouted Aizu as he opened the pocket dimension again. This time he pulled out what appeared to be a large magic staff with a black and blue crystal at one end, as well as a book. Wow, so my gift's a book and staff? I thought you said it would give me some power, Aizu, I say while pouting. Lionheart laughed, as Aizu flushed a bit. Young, Melissa, this staff is a very powerful, nearly unbreakable weapon. The crystal holds enough power to destroy the sun if used at full strength. The book has every spell the greatest magic wielder from my world ever knew. While you learn the spells, you can also use the staff as a melee weapon to help protect you. The spells inside range from attack to defense, and even healing. It may take time to wield it all, but give me 5 months, and you will MSTR it, Lionheart said with a small head bow. Whoa, really? Dude, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Lionheart, I said while holding the staff and book. Oh, please, Lionheart is my first name, so no need to call me Mr. I know I'm an old dead guy, and all, but that makes me feel even older. He smiles, sheepishly grabbing the back of his head. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I thought it was your last name, I say, frowning a bit. The giant laughs a bit while looking at Aizu. You only said my first name to them, huh, successor? Aizu coughed, looking nervous. Well, yeah, I was afraid they'd get scared knowing your full name, he said, causing Lionheart to bend over, holding his stomach while howling with laughter. Ha ha, it's fine. Young Melissa, my name is Lionheart Bloodrage. My last name is also my ability. Bloodrage was a spell my ancestor cast on my family line. In essence, the angrier we get, the more powerful we become. We all stop to absorb the information. So, does that mean you're an angry person? Inko asks timidly. Lionheart smiles sadly. No, but has not always been so. I used to be angry all the time for reasons pertaining to my family and my world. But after I avenged them and my time with my late wife, I was able to fully MSTR my anger, so I never lose control anymore, he said grimly. Izuku's POV. That's good, you gained control over it. But apologies for your wife's passing, Lionheart, I say as we spend the next hour or so packing up some stuff and chatting. As it gets late, Lionheart asks a question I didn't want to think about. So since there's only 2 beds and 1 couch. Oh, what's the sleeping situations? I paled as Melissa blushed a bit. Well, Lionheart, that is I hadn't thought about that. I know Eri only sleeps if she could be on Izuku, but I don't know where you and Melissa will sleep. I smirk as I joke. Hey, Lionheart, how about you take the pocket dimension, and I take the couch so Melissa can have my bed? Lionheart laughs, saying how about no? I will take the couch so you and your girlfriend can have your bed, he said with a grin. I blush crimson, as does Melissa, and my mom grins mischievously. Before anyone can say a thing, my precious little snowball in her innocence yells, why, Eri, Papa, and Mama Melsa sleep together, causing Lionheart and Mom to roll on the floor laughing their buttes off as me and Melissa are devolved into stuttering strawberries. My mom in her evil demonic ways goes, well, that is settled then. Just please no baby making while Eri is in the bed. I paled as my eyes flicker. No, I yell panicking. Mizinko da wiawa. Aizu. Melissa keeps stuttering so much it was unintelligible. I'm still freaking out when suddenly Melissa squeaks out fine, but only costs want to spend time with Unicorn Eri. I freeze as Eri jumps down and runs to Melissa, who is the darkest shade of crimson I've ever seen, before I do the right thing and fall flat on my butt. What? I ask, still in my shocked stupor. Mom laughs. Izuku, it's fine, I trust you. We don't have a lot of space, and until we move to UA, we just go with this arrangement. Okay? Still with her evil eyes. I sigh, fine, but at least don't tease us anymore, I say as I start to stand up. Lionheart, still with his grin, wipes tears from his eyes. Phew. Well, I make no promises. Just keep it in your breeze, and we good. I glare at him, quiet you, or it's back to the pocket dimension. This time with bombs surrounding every inch of you. Lionheart pales a bit seriously. I smile as I nod while slowly opening it. No need. It's fine. Well, off to the couch I go. Good night. He stammers out as he quickly walks to the couch. Sighing, I say goodnight to him and Mom as me, Melissa, and Eri head to my room. I open the door and step inside the mostly bare room, as I'd already destroyed all my All Might merch, thanking the heavens for having done so. Melissa slowly steps inside as Eri hops down to run to my dresser, grabbing another of my hoodies to hand off to Melissa. Here, Mama Melsa, wear this for bed, she says, smiling as she also touches the symbol to remove her own armor. Melissa slowly grabs it. Oh, thanks, Eri. Are you sure this is okay, Aizu? I sigh, then turn and smile at her. Well, why not? It's just sleeping in the same bed. I know you're appealing and well-developed, as it were, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do anything inappropriate. Besides, not to fear, we have our guardian Eri here to protect us, right, Snowball? Eri smiles with an adorable little salute. Eri protect Mama Melsa, Eri promise. Looking so cute and serious. Before she grabs Melissa's hand and leads her to the bathroom, Mama Melsa help Eri brush teeth. She says, giggling the whole way. I laugh a bit, before suddenly realizing, oh no, I never laid in bed with a girl before. Holy cow, why? Why? Why does life keep doing this to me? It's fine, I think. Eri will be there, and we will only sleep. Right? Panicking the whole time. I just took my shirt off when I suddenly hear the door open. Aizu, I'm sorry, I didn't know you was naked. Melissa squeals and shuts the door. Naked? It was just a shirt. Why was she so flustered? I asked before looking down. Oh, that's why. I sweat drop, forgetting how much my body has changed. My muscles developed greatly, resulting in large arms and pecs, as well as an 8-pack. I walk to the door and open it. Melissa, are you all right? I ask as she's all flustered. Yeah, just, never expected to see you without a shirt on. I sweat drop. Oh, sorry, Melissa. I usually sleep without one, but I can go put one on if that makes you feel better. She shakes her head a bit and no, it's fine. I don't want to make it more difficult on you to sleep, she says as her and Eri come into the room. Having changed into my hoodies, I smile, okay, as long as it doesn't make you uncomfortable. She smiles, still blushing. I'll be okay. Let's just get laid down. I see Eri run and jump onto the bed as she pats beside. Come on, Mama, Melsa, we sleep. I crawled in bed up against the wall as Eri cuddled up beside me. Melissa sits down before she takes her glasses off and sets them on my desk. I hear her whisper, mutter, it's my first time in bed with a boy, and he's got to be some massive, muscled-up hot guy. Oh, at least he's nice and cute. I cough a bit as I start blushing like mad. Melissa? She stops and turns slowly. Oh, I said that out loud, didn't I? I just nod as she covers her face with her hands and panics. I reach over and put a hand on her shoulder. Melissa, it's fine. Just lay down and get some sleep. She nods, still covering her face as she falls over into a laying position. She pulls her hands down as Eri grabs her arm a bit while yawning. Eri, so sleepy, Mama. Melsa must be sleepy too. Melissa sighs as she puts an arm around Eri and slowly looks at me. Yeah, we need sleep. Sorry, dude, for making this more embarrassing. I didn't ever expect things like this. Heck, I didn't honestly think I'd even escape my father and come here. But worse yet was finding out Uncle Might was just as bad as a villain. It has been a long day. I should just do as Eri says and sleep. Sorry if I made you feel embarrassed. I smile, kindly placing a hand on her forehead and brushing the hair from her eyes. It's fine. As long as you, Eri, and my mom are safe, that's all that matters now. Just up and sleep. Melissa, with cheeks flushed, just nods and puts her head down on the pillow. Okay, but keep your hand where I can see the muscle boy, hee. I blush at the thought as I pull my hand back into Cerniter. Fine, but you too. No feeling me up, I gotta keep my maidenly honor, you know. I grin at her as she giggles. Thanks, Aizu, for everything you've done for me. Saving me, healing me and my scars. Giving me a home. Everything. How you even found a way to give me power too. Even if you didn't plan on it. She smiles as tears form in her eyes. I was lost for so very long. Locked away. Tortured by David. I had to learn everything myself. These clothes and glasses was all I ever got from him. But now meeting you, I feel like a normal girl for the first time in my life. Thank you. I reach up and start to wipe her tears away. I shouldn't have had to do all that, but this world treats us quirkless like we are worthless. No matter what, Melissa, I will do all in my power to keep you safe. Just like with Ari and my mom. Melissa smiled a bit more as she starts to close her eyes. You really got away with words, Aizu. Hee. No wonder Namiri gave your number and asked me lots of questions about you. I freeze. Wait, that's why Midnight had my phone. Looking like a deer in headlights as Melissa falls asleep. Oh no, I got a appealing girl's number and the SEC Goddess Midnight's number as well, and to top it off, I'm sleeping next to a gorgeous one now. Degoya, are you responsible for the way women see and treat me now? I wonder before getting a mental message. Haha, maybe. It's actually all you, Izuka Shimura. Your heroic heart and intelligence. I viewed your future, so don't ask. But a little warning. Better get used to how women see you now. Anyway, get some rest. You, Melissa, and Lionheart have to start training tomorrow. Go to Degoya in the morning. Rest well, human Izuku. I started to pale, trying to understand that weird message. Oh boy, my life is weird now. I thought right before finally falling asleep. The next morning, I wake up a bit. With my eyes still closed, I notice something. I don't feel Aries' weight on me, but some soft things on my chest. I reach up with one hand to try and find Aries, but instead, I feel a much larger body. I snap my eyes open to a forest of yellow. I reach up and move it to see Melissa passed out on my chest with her melons smashed up against me as she snoozes, drooling on my shoulder. I froze up when I hear a strange clicking sound. Wait, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I look over and Mom is standing at my door, holding Aries in one hand, smiling madly as she snaps pictures again, and again, I blush and my mouth falls open. Panic has set in, but I'm afraid to move and make the situation more embarrassing. Mom giggles and whispers I'll get Aries dressed and take her to get some more clothes. When your girlfriend wakes up, get dressed and head to Degoya as Lionheart is already there. Mouth open, I just nod my head up and down, not trusting my voice. She leaves as I hear laughter from her and Aries both. I try to think of a way out of this situation when I feel Melissa move around. I try to stay as still as possible while I feel her move a bit more and start to panic as I realize something. Oh no. Please no. Hormones, why do you betray me, damn it? Why now of all times? As my PP starts to get hard, I shut my eyes and beg for it to go down before Melissa wakes up as I feel it start jabbing her most likely in the stomach. What's that? I gape as my eyes shoot open. Oh no. No. Please don't wake up now. Melissa starts to sit up as alarm bells are blaring in my head. God damn it, now she's going to think I'm a freaking pervert and try to do something bad. F you hormones, you rat monsters. I roar in my head. Oh wow, sorry for drooling on you, and I see Melissa start to look down and begin to try and think of any logical response. She suddenly realizes what the hard thing poking her stomach was, and her face glows crimson. Oh, Melissa, I'm sorry, I promise. I didn't mean for that to happen. I say, panicking, as she quickly sits up and starts panic also. Oh, is that your? I sigh, yes. So sorry. Just she was basically grinding on me, and it, sort of just happened. I swear I'm not a perv or creep. She, while still blushing, just shakes her head side to side. It's okay, Aizu. I'm sorry for grinding on you. Let's just, I look at her to see why she stopped talking, and see she just stares at my bulging breathes. Let's just, I panic as I notice her hand moving up a bit. What are you doing, Melissa? I ask as she keeps moving her hand up. Izuka, does it hurt being like that? She asks calmly. I nod my head a bit. Yeah, I guess, but you still haven't N-worded me. I say as I swallow down the large lump in my throat before she looks me in the eye and asks, would you like me to help you with that? She asks, blushing a lot. My brain shuts down for a second when I realize what she said. Help? How? I ask, stuttering more and more. She finally places her hand on my bulge as I shiver and let a small squeak out. Well, not SEC, but I could use my hand or something to help you let the SMN out, since I caused it to get so painfully hard in the first place. I panic a bit before I ask Melissa, are you offering a hand job to me? She nods a little as it finally sinks in. Well, what do I do now? She must notice. I'm thinking a million things a second, just to help you out. It's okay with me, Izuku, as I caused this. I don't want you to be frustrated when we train later. I blinked at her words. Well, much as I try thinking of a hole in that logic, I can't. Are you sure? You won't think I'm a bad person? I asked. She giggles. Izuku, if you were bad, I never would have been saved by you. You probably would have raped me and left me there. My jaw drops. Huh. That actually makes sense, I guess. Okay, Melissa, just don't tell anyone about this. Please, I beg you. She smiles as I feel her hands grip my breeds. Who would I even tell? Now lift your butt off the bed a bit, so can pull these down. I nod as I raise my waist off the bed, and she pulls my breeds down as my 10-inch PP slaps her in the face a bit. Oh my god, Aizu. I look at her as I set back on the bed. Sorry. Is something wrong? Melissa looks at me with her tongue out a bit before I feel a hand wrap around my pages. No, just didn't know it would be so big. I forgot how you're super muscular because the powers you have. I laugh a bit. Degoya didn't make it like that, Melissa. It's embarrassing, but it's same size it's always been. I say as she looks shocked. Dude, while you didn't get a quirk, you definitely won a genetic lottery in this at least. She says as she starts to pump her hand up and down. Slow at first before she wraps both hands around it and starts to pump faster. That feels so good. I squeak out as she looks at me and purrs out, oh, it does? That's good to know. This rod of yours is hard as steel, Aizu. She stops up, but as she pulls off the hoodie. I froze. Holy cow. I squeak out loudly as she wasn't wearing a shirt or bra, revealing her large white melons and pink nips. No wonder they felt so soft on my chest. Oh, do you like it, Aizu? She asked with a large blush. I could only nod as she leans forward a bit. That's good. Want me to make your pee-pee feel even better? She asks as I widen my eyes and nod more. Leaning forward, she takes her big melons and begins to wrap them around my pages. Oh yes. God, your big melons feel so good on my pee-pee, Melissa. She giggles as she starts to pump them up and down. I start to hump her melons a bit when she speaks. Aizu, it's okay for you to grab them if you want. I hear her say with a lustful expression. I look down and slowly start to reach out and place my hands on her soft melons while still humping them. She squeaks as I squeeze them around my pee-pee while I circle her nips with my thumbs. God, that feels so good, Aizu. I smile, yes it does. I say as I start to hump her melons faster. Melissa and I both squeak more and more. Before she asks me, would it be better if I use my mouth, Aizu? I stop before I smile a bit. Do you want to mel? She giggles as she leans back a bit before shuffling back on the bed and taking her tongue to lick up the side of my pages. Does that answer your question? I squeak as I nod. She keeps liking all around my pee-pee before I feel her open her mouth and slowly wrap her lips around my pee-pee and start skinning on a bit, as with each time, she takes more of my pee-pee in her mouth. Holy cow, Melissa, this feels amazing. You're so good at this. I see her eyes shine a bit as she pulls me out of her mouth. Some saliva led down to my pee-pee, really? It's my first time giving a BLWJB. You like it, Aizu? She asked before skinning my pee-pee some more. God, yes. Keep it up, Mel. I'm so close. She speeds up a bit as I hear her sloppily SCK it. She pulls me out again. Want to come in my mouth, Aizu? Is that way easy clean up? She pops me back in her mouth. Sure. Go a bit faster, Mel, and I'll come. She smiles and takes my entire pee-pee down her throat before skinning me fast. That warm, wet throat and her tongue wrapping around me to guide it down. She GGS a bit and starts to squeak as I start bucking my hips up. I reach out as I feel I'm going to come and grab the back of her head. She squeaks as I feel ropes have come shooting down her throat as I squeak. Oh yes, Melissa. I don't know how she managed it, but she swallowed every drop of my huge load. I start to catch my breath as she takes me out of her mouth. Breathing heavy. Wow, dude, the taste wasn't even bad. But Aizu, that was so much. He a little bit of a warning about the amount next time. I almost had to spit some out. She said, playfully poking my abs. Oh, sorry, first time I ever came. I never done anything like that before. She looks me in the eyes. As she starts to climb up on the bed a bit, she puts her melons on my chest before kissing me on the cheek. Well, then you definitely deserved that then, huh? You're a great guy, and even though I hadn't known you that long, I can tell you deserve any happiness. If doing that makes you happy, well, then I'm glad to help you anytime. I reach up and put my hands on her shoulders as I lift her up a bit to look her in the eyes. Are you sure, Mel? I don't want to make you feel like I'm using you or anything. She giggles a bit. You know your politeness makes you cute And with that godly body of yours, I'm sure any woman would do that and more. But trust me, Aizu, if I didn't want any part of what we just did, I'd never have offer in the first place. I open my eyes a bit wider as I digest her words. She really meant every word. I laugh a bit. You know, if I didn't know any better, Mel, I think you'd fallen for me. She blushed red. What would that be a bad thing, dude? I freeze, wait, what? Really? She smiles as she looks at me. Yeah, I'm not the only one either. Midnight as well. Or haven't you noticed her when she looks at you, Aizu? She's always blushing at you, and while her midnight personality is kind of a slot, we both know in truth she's never been with anyone. We're not competing for you or anything, but unless you're denser than concrete, it's obvious she more than likes you too. I just want to do all I can for you, as I know you meant every word you said about helping me and protecting. I think things over a bit before asking, so what's this make us? She giggles. For now, just friends. He, albeit with a few benefits here and there, but friends nonetheless. I smile a bit, saddened by only being friends, but okay, I can accept that. Now we gotta get dressed and head to train, right? Aizu, you wouldn't happen to have some training clothes I could wear? She asked, as I forgot she didn't have a lot of clothes as it was. We get up, and she covers her melons a bit, and I put on my breeds again. I walk to my closet and pull out my training clothes, and a smaller pair I think will fit her. Here, will these work? If not, then we can grab you some before we reach Degoya. Melissa grabs the shirt and shorts. I think so. Hee hee. What, no bra? Guess. Aizu wants me to show him my melons the whole time we train he. She giggles as I flush red. Well, while I would like that, Mel, I lack the gender for needing a bra. Especially one massive enough for your jumbo jugs. Ha ha. I tease back. She giggles. It's fine, Aizu, I have underwear, so don't worry. Wouldn't want to show my body off to that giant alien dude. While I don't mind you seeing it, I kind of mind if he does. I laugh my butt off before shaking my head as I change in my t-shirt and shorts. Yeah, I think he'd freak out and ask to be locked in my pocket dimension if a gorgeous 16 years old was naked in front of him. Wait, then again, dude's wife been gone a while. Right? We both blanch. Way to kill the mood, idiot. I say out loud, before apologizing to Melissa. We finish changing when Melissa tells me, Aizu, I seem to be having issues in the chest area. I look at her quizzically. Dude, my melons make this shirt impossible to move around in. It's too tight. She points out. Oh, gotcha. We will stop by a clothing store on way, so you can get some stuff? At least a couple, that way we won't have too much stuff, as we'll be moving to UA in 4 days. Once we do that, we can buy you and Ari a lot more things. Mel thinks it over before she agrees. So, am I supposed to wear a hoodie to the store? She asks. I think about it, and just ask her got any better ideas? She sighs before pulling the shirt off and putting the hoodie back on. Nope, now let's go, Aizu. We end up at Degoya Beach roughly 45 minutes later after having gotten everything from Melissa. She was busy reading the spell book as me and Lionheart came up with a way to help me control my strength. Before he asked Melissa, would you like to train how to use the staff in a fight, as well as help move some trash to increase your strength? Melissa thinks it over before agreeing. Lionheart takes her to a further part of the beach as I started working on the piles of trash nearest the entrance. After an hour, I already made pretty good headway and was quickly learning how to control my strength output. Another hour and Melissa and Lionheart came back with Melissa breathing hard. Aizu, I think he's trying to kill me. She huffed out after falling on her knees. Lionheart laughed. Oh hush, if I try to kill you, you'd be dead. Great work, both of you. I smiled as I took my shirt off to towel off the sweat. Thanks and glad to have you here. You definitely helped me learn how to control my strength some. I figure 2 weeks, and I'll MS-tar, then finish up cleaning the beach with shining mode strength control. I walked over handing Melissa a water bottle. She snatched it and began chugging it like she hadn't drank anything in days. Well, why don't we head on back? I think I can go into the pocket dimension again, kid. Had way too many weird looks walking here. Your fellow humans kind of creep me out. I laugh as I open it up and he hops in. He waves at me and Melissa before I shut it. I reach a hand down to help Mel up. Thanks, Aizu. Phew. Oh, my legs are dead tired. Think you can help me get home? I laugh as I turn round and kneel down. Well, how about a piggyback ride, Mel? She hops on with her bag, holding rest of the stuff we got as well as her book and staff. Giddy up, horsey. We gotta get home and shower. Cost you're sweaty. I deadpan at her attempt at humor. You're sweaty too, so don't act like it's just me, or I'll drop you. I teased, hearing her huff as she pressed her melons in my back. Yeah, but you could have not mentioned that. Hee hee, just for that you have to personally bathe me. I froze. Wait, what? She started cackling. As I started walking again. You're teasing me again, huh, Mel? She laughs a bit before putting her lips by my ear. Not really, but we can bathe each other once we move to UA, if you really want to house that sound, Aizu. I turned beet red and nod deal. Is all I say as she leans back. Really? Well then hope we get to UA soon. Inko's POV. I was glad Aizawa had came to the house as early as he did. He had guard duty as myself, and Eri went to pick her up a few outfits and personal items, not a lot, but at least this way she has some things until we move into UA. We spoke some, as he was more chatty than I have heard him to be. Little Eri also was wearing her armor, just in case, as I had my crystal and her other gifts from Lionheart and Degoya in my purse as precaution. We didn't expect trouble, but as they say, when trouble is least expected, it's most likely to occur. After finishing picking up all of Eri's things, I saw someone I never once expected to see again. Walking up to us looking angry was asswipe Hisashi Midoriya. There you are. Why I got fatso? Where's our son? He started yelling at me as Aizawa stepped between us. I do not know who you think you are, but this is your only warning. Apologize to Ms. Inko and Eri, then leave. Failure to do so could cost you more than you can afford. He growls out with a hand on his scarf. Hisashi snarls as he looks at Aizawa. Oh, is your new man some poor homeless doing co? Here, have a penny and shut up. I gotta talk with the fat one about my kid. Ain't got time for your BS. Aizawa sighs. Ms. Inko, please use the crystal and get one of the protectors for Eri in it. He growls as he unfurls his scarf. I don't even ask questions. I activated a pretty good size barrier as I hold the teary Eri and hand her both her protection dolls. Grandma, who is scary, man? Why yell at you? She asked as I sigh. That unfortunately Eri is Izuku's real father. You're right, he is a bad man, and Aizawa is going to teach him a valuable lesson. Or at least I hope he is. I watch as Aizawa throws his scarf around Hisashi and uses his quirk. In a low, hushed tone I could barely make out, I hear him say, I do not care if you're her ex-husband and Izuku's father Hisashi. You were warned and foolishly didn't listen. I will not allow you to talk to her that way, especially with Eri there. So we will do this. I will let you go. You will try to fight me. I will break you and arrest you. Then you will serve time and leave back for America. Do you understand me? Hisashi glares at Aizawa with his eyes glowing red. If you think that's how this will play out, go ahead. But don't get mad when I burn you alive. I don't care if you're my ex-wife or not. You have no right putting yourself between me and what I want. Aizawa chuckles at that. I do actually. See, I'm her co-worker at UA. I'm the pro-hero Eraserhead. I have no time nor patience for morons who cannot follow the law. So now your beating will be even worse. Then I will drag you to your son and let him beat you as well. Then after all is said and done, we will send you to prison. Oh, I think Degoya was right. Shoto was the perfect bodyguard, as now he will give that dumbass a major beating. He hope he really does drag him to Izuku to finish putting Hisashi in his place. He let the fool go, but right as he did, I saw Hisashi start to throw a punch with tons of smoke billowing out of his mouth. Neither the punch landed, nor did any fire come out, as Aizawa blocked the punch and canceled Hisashi's quirk before he proceeded to do just what he said and beat the monster black and blue as I covered little Eri's eyes. Geez, I hope he leaves some for Izuku. Hee hee. After a couple minutes, Hisashi is cuffed and wrapped up in Aizawa's scarf as he calls for Midnight and Cementos to transport him to UA. Then he called up a detective Tsukachi to head to UA and interrogate him in Nisa's office. After that, he turns around and gives me the okay to release the barrier. Dang, think he's going to survive long after Izuku gets his hands on him with that much damage already? I ask, smiling as he smiles a bit. Do you actually care? As I don't. Izuku could probably kill him and get away with it. But this way the school and Izuku all know what's going on. Who knows, after this we may have to move you guys in tonight. I nod. That's probably a good idea, actually, as I don't want to risk All Might finding us, and living at the school is best way to keep that from happening. But thank you for doing that, Aizawa. I'm glad Degoya made you our bodyguard. He smiles as I think I see a blush. Oh, you're welcome, Ms. Inko. He says nervously. I turn to Hisashi. Is he even conscious? I ask. He turns. No. Plus recovery girl will most likely refuse to heal him when he gets to UA anyway. We both chuckle as Eri looks at Aizawa. Thanks, Grandpa Sleepy. Aizawa stammers before looking at Eri. Grandpa, huh? Eri smiles. Yeah. You protect Eri and Grandma Inko. You make Grandma Inko smile a lot. You my grandpa now? He sighs. There's no getting out of that. Is there, Ms. Inko? I laugh as we walk outside. Nope. You're stuck with us, I'm afraid. After all, she has a very protective father and wouldn't want to upset her now, would you? I tease, but Aizawa pales, When you put it like that. He turns to Eri. I wouldn't mind being called Grandpa Zoa Little Eri. How's that sound? Eri smiles. Okay. Then you Eri's Grandpa Zawa. You be nice to Grandma Inko, or I tell Papa. Got it. I start to cackle as Aizawa panics a bit, realizing what Eri meant. Eri, while I get a kick out of what you said, let's not push Aizawa too much. He may get broken. Okay. Eri pouts a bit, but nods. Okay, Grandma. She says as Namiri and Cementos arrive. Oh, what happened to show? Namiri asked, as Aizawa let Hisashi go for Cementos to grab and place in the car before wrapping a layer of cement around his torso. I smile at Namiri. Oh, nothing. Eri just was trying to pair me and her Grandpa Zoa up. I say with a giggle. Namiri laughs at that. Grandpa Zoa, huh? Well, it fits. Hello, Lil Angel Eri, how was shopping with Grandma, besides the bad man showing up? She asks as Eri holds her hands out for Namiri to grab her and hug her. It was very fun. We buy clothes for Eri. Hee hee. Hope Papa likes them. Me and Namiri laugh as Aizawa coughs to draw our attention. Well, if you were finished, Namiri, can you and Cementos take Hisashi here to Nizu? I have Sakachi heading to UA now, so he can interrogate him. I need to take these two home and inform young Midoriya of what happened. Then we will probably need to move them all into a home on campus today. Namiri smiles. Oh, fine, you party pooper. But I want details when you get back. Hee hee. Bye for now, Lil Angel Eri. I'll see you when your family comes to UA later today, okay? She hugs Eri one more time as Eri giggles. Okay, Mama Nemumu. Eri, see you soon, right? Namiri smiles as she hands Eri to me. Yes, I promise, Angel. You guys stay safe and be at UA soon, okay? She and Cementos get in and wave before driving off. I look to Aizawa and say, well, would the kind Grandpa Zawa walk me and his granddaughter Eri home now? We have lots to do, Aizawa sighs. I'm never living this down, am I? He asks grimly. I giggle. Nope, now lead on, Gramps. I say as we make our way to the apartment. We get there pretty quickly, just as Izuku shows up giving Melissa a piggyback ride, both covered in sand and sweat. Well, long as there's not a bun in the oven, guess I'm okay with this. I say while giggling as we enter the apartment. Only for Izuku to blush, Mom, we didn't do that. I promise we only did some training. I laughed at the two blushing messes as Izuku sets Melissa down on the couch. Fine. But anyway, we need to talk, Izuku. Your father found me at the mall today. Izuku stands up and narrows his eyes. Did he now? Well, seeing as you and Eri are all right, I guess Aizawa handled the situation. I nod. Yes, problem child. However, due to this, I think it's best if we move your family as well as young Melissa into campus today, if possible, said Aizawa. Izuku smiles. Well, I don't see why not. That actually would provide better protection. We don't have much left to pack as it is. I can box everything up and put it with Lionheart in the pocket dimension, so easy transportation that way. Then you take Mom with you, and I'll fly Eri and Melissa to UA after Mel, and I take our showers first. How does that sound? Aizawa nods. That's agreeable. Take your time, you three. We will head there now, if that's okay with you all. Izuku agrees and helps Melissa up. He sent her to the bathroom with Eri before he asks me, do you have everything boxed up in your room already, Mom? I nod as I grab a few things and head back to the door where Aizawa was waiting. Mostly Izuku. The boxes are next to my bed. All that's left my dresser that you can have Melissa and Eri box up and whatever is in the kitchen, a few towels and things in bathroom in your room. Should only take you all a few minutes. I wave to him as me and Aizawa head out. It takes us about an hour to reach campus. We head directly to Nizu's office where a cuffed Hisashi was sitting. A detective and both Namiri and Cementos were there as well. Hello, Ms. Inko. I'm sorry for the way things went today, says Nizu as he smiles softly. It's okay, Nizu. Could have gone worse, but with Aizawa there things went smoothly. Has Hisashi answered all your questions? Nizu smiles. Well, it took some prodding, but yes, he did. Due to his attack, I have saw fit to have the housing built, and it was finishes before you go here. There's 5 bedrooms with 3 bathrooms, since there will be at least 5 people living there we wants to make it, so you all could have your own room. Also, due to the reported size of Lionheart Blood Rage, we made his room a bit larger than most with larger furniture, so as to give him an easier time with things. But it's all furnished with each room having a king-size bed, except the one we intend for Eri to use when she feels safe enough to be in her own bed. Multiple dressers and a desk in each room. Televisions and other electronics as well are available in each room. The bathrooms have both showers and bathtubs in them. The kitchen's rather large and fully stocked as well. We have a walk-in pantry stocked with just about any food you can think of. Once your son and the girls arrive, you can all move in today. He said, to which surprised me at the size of housing he was essentially just giving us. Wow. Thank you, Nizu. We were honestly just expecting a little bigger apartment. But this is so very much more than anything we ever imagined. I say stunned. He cackles. Well, considering it's going to be housing the future number 1, as well as his family, we couldn't halfway do things now, could we? Besides, after everything you all have been through, this was the least we could do for you. I relent and simply smile as I nod. About 30 minutes later, Izuku, Melissa, and Eri arrive. Melissa carries Eri and walks beside me as I see Izuku, Hisashi, and begin to walk over to him. Nobody speaks as Izuku flares his aura to life. Hello, SBRM donor. I'm fairly sure Mother said, what would happen should you ever come to her again, did she not? He said in a dark, terrifying voice that shook Hisashi out of his anger. I smiled as Hisashi paled and began shaking. That's father to you, boy. He stutters out. No, a father doesn't abandon his family simply because their child isn't born with a quirk. A father takes care of his family. A father spends time with their kids. He takes care of them, helps them, makes them feel safe, makes sure they're healthy. He loves and treats their children fairly and would sooner sacrifice their own happiness for that of their child. Tell me, Hisashi, did you do any of those things? Said Izuku as Hisashi just shook with fear and stared daggers at the floor. Refused to answer? That is fine, SBRM donor. See, I myself have become a father. That appealing little girl over there is my adopted daughter. You tried attacking her and my mother. Now, here are some warnings for you, Hisashi. At 20% of my current power, I can defeat even All Might. You can never make me be your SLV again. You can never take advantage of me and Mom again. We want nothing to do with you. You can't make us fear you, little man. If you ever come near my mother and daughter again, I will murder you and no one will ever find a body. Do you understand me, SPRM donor? He said, releasing a huge wave of bloodlust. Hisashi looked as if he was choking, and we all could see he set his breathes. He shook all over as he tried to think of what to say. Smiling, he looked up. Oh, really? Then how will you stop me? You're just a quirkless freak with aware of a mother and a red-dead daughter worth nothing. Katsuki Bakugo is more of a son than you, so go ahead and kill me. Least then you will be arrested for murder. He said, trying to manipulate my son. I sigh, knowing what's about to happen. I turn to Nizu. Does the school carry body bags? I deadpan. Haha, no, but I have a feeling we won't need one. I giggled as we all look at Hisashi. Well, still trying to manipulate me, are you not? Well, fine. How about you and I visit the being what gave me the powers you seek to try and make me use for you? Degoya, I know you know what is going on. Can you please warp Hisashi to you? We all smile as Hisashi is teleported away. Degoya's POV. I brought human Hisashi Midoriya to me with my teleportation ability. What? Where am I? I smile when he looks at me and pales. Well, hello, human Hisashi Midoriya. We need to have a little chat. I say as I make him glow red. Izuku's POV. After about 10 minutes later, Hisashi was warped back into his chair. Pale as a ghost, he looks around and asks, shaking, can I go to prison now? We all start to laugh. What happened to your pathetic bravado? I ask as he trembles more and more. Hisashi shakes even more. I am sorry, and I will never appear in your lives again. Please send me to prison. Anything but back to that gigantic blue demon. I cackled at that as we all looked at Tsukachi, who just shrugs as if to say, yeah, but finish this up first. I stepped forward. Well, Hisashi, seems we have a bit more time. Let's enjoy it, I say before waylaying him. After 15 minutes, he is transported to Tartarus. I turn to Nizu, who laughs. Well, is that all, Mr. Fuzzy Rat Man? As I'm tired and would like to move my family to the home you built. Nizu smiles and says that was all before he has Midnight take us to the new home. About 2 hours later, we had finished unboxing everything. I smile. I can get used to this. Before heading to the nearest bath. As I knock, no one answers, so I walk in only to see Melissa standing there in just a towel. Well, guess you really wanted to wash my body for me. She smiles as I take my clothes off. She removes her towel. I guess, so we then hop into the bath together. After one hell of a BLWJB, later we wash up before heading to my room with Eri to talk for a bit before Melissa gets tired and heads to her room. Well, Eri, it's just you and me tonight. Let's get some sleep, Snowball, I say as she nods her head before we head in the bed and go to sleep. Izuku's POV. Shortly after leaving Nizu's office, Melissa, myself, and Eri are skirted to our new home. A 3-story home with a large kitchen, pantry, its own miniature library, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a few empty rooms of undecided nature. We head inside as Lionheart exits the pocket dimension to FND his room. Eri chooses to stay in my room as Melissa and Inko each choose theirs. We take time unpacking my room and putting things in our respective dressers before having dinner afterwards. Mom went off to give Eri a bath, and Melissa winked at me while blushing. Remember the deal, Izu? My face blushed. I got up, walked, and hepped her off the couch. Yep, I remember now. Let's get this over with before Mom finishes Eri's bath, as we don't have much time. Just bathing each other. Deal? Melissa smiled. Deal. Don't want to worry the unicorn. 2 weeks later. As I imagined, I was already able to MSTR my standard strength. I started to work on Shining Mode. Melissa had come along rather well. She now seems to be of a healthier appearance than when I first found her. As well, she has learned a few neat spells. For the most part. For now, she is focused only on defense and support magic. Namuri has been to the house a lot these past couple weeks to help teach Eri. We don't know how long it will be before she's up to a standard level of education for her age nor speech level either. Nijire and I have been talking as well. She is trying to learn better ways to use and focus her power. Due to it being vitality-based, it's difficult for her to control and train. Aizawa has kept vigil, as was agreed by Nizu and Degoya. I'm stressed a few new abilities for Blood Rage that should make it easier to learn the rest of my power set. As we were heading back from the beach today, though, we ran into a girl being chased down an alley. She was screaming for help as several men were chasing her. We caught up in time to see a girl who appeared to be my age or so. She was a bit on the plump side with brunette hair and a bob cut. She had a permanent blush on her face as well. Melissa sighed. Why is it you always find girls in trouble? I looked at her and shrugged. Would you rather I have not found you? She grumbled and said no. Never mind. We should probably help her. I chuckled at that as I summoned my swords and walked up to the men. Hello, my good sirs, I have a question. Why are so many grown men chasing a teenage girl through the streets? The first man with a bear quirk roared and told us to F off, you stupid fool. She's ours to do with as we please. We saw her first. I court a brow, leaned sideways. Hey, cute girl, are you theirs, or was this just as creepy as it sounded? She shook her head, so I looked back at him again. Okay, creep. I'll ask again. Nicely. What's the deal here? A second man spoke up. Her parents failed to pay up their loan in time, so she belongs to us now. I turn to Melissa as she giggles and casts a barrier around the girl. Turning around, I smile at them. Oh, how fortunate. See, I can easily pay the parents' loan off for them. If I do so, would you be willing to let her go? They began chuckling as I smiled like a devil. Thought so. I hope you guys have good insurance. The bear man roared and swiped his massive claws at me as I stood there not moving. Soon as his claws hit and slashed into me, I laughed. Well, thank you. I've been itchy for a while now. Can you get just behind my shoulder blade on my right side? Oh, what are you all staring at? They all backed up a step as I began charging my blades. Sigh. While not very communicative, are we? Oh well. I slashed horizontally, caused the beam to hit all four of them, blasting them into the wall, taking all four down in a blink. Smiling, I nodded to Melissa as she dropped the barrier, and I sent my swords back to the pocket dimension. The girl dropped to her knees, crying. I heard Melissa sigh. I know. Go console the girl. I'll call Aizawa and Tsukachi and explain the situation. I groaned. Why does it always have to be me? I slowly approached the girl, asking her if she was all right. Yeah, I thought I was a goner. I smiled as I knelt down in front of her. She looked closer at me before she opened her eyes wide. You're the sludge boy. I looked confused and looked down, not seeing any sludge before I remembered. Well, Mizuka Midoriya is my name, not sludge boy. She started to sweat drop. Sorry. I'm Ochako Uraraka, by the way. Nice to meet ya. Well, sorta. I smiled. Well, Miss Uraraka, would you perhaps need Melissa and I to take you home? She scowled. I don't think I should go home. My parents put me up as collateral for their loan shark. Melissa sighed. Then why don't we take you to talk with a friend of Sludge Boy here? On the police force? She shook her head. I groaned. Well, do you have anyone you can stay with for at least a few days that can watch over you? Again, she shook her head. Melissa, it seems we are at an impasse here, huh? She sighed. Yeah, told you this was bound to happen again. I groaned as I told you this stuff is not my fault. Miss Ochako, would you be willing to accompany us to UA? She tilted her head at that. Why there? I looked at Melissa, and she grumbled. Fine, but you have to explain to the next one you're bound to find. Melissa did her best to explain the situation as I sent a text to Tsukachi explaining the Uraraka situation. I could feel his judgment as he replied. I blushed and growled at the phone before I put it back in my pocket. Well, shall we? Ochako and Melissa agreed, and I decided to just save time, use Shining Mode, and flew us there, as Ochako held on scared. We landed at UA, and Melissa just went home, leaving me standing there with a terrified Ochako Uraraka wrapped around my torso. Sigh. Well, I guess I'll do the walking and talking, I said as I walked to Nizu's office, hearing him cackle wildly before he let us in. One short explanation later, he decided to have Ochako stay with us for the time being. A sweat dropped as he cackled. Great now to deal with this. I'm so screwed. He also told us to stop by Namuri's and have her head there too, as it was time for Aries lessons. I feel like you're doing this on purpose, Nizu, I said as we left for more cackling to ensue. Is he always like that? Asked Ochako as I groaned. Always. His favorite thing to do is mess with people. Apparently, it's how he handles stress. Wouldn't know. I'm more the hold it in and develop massive psychological trauma until go insane type. I say as she looks wide-eyed and freezes. That was sarcasm, Miss Uraraka. She nods slowly. I got that. What's with the DMNTRX liking her lips at you? Feels kind of weird. I sigh, not realizing Namuri was behind me. Hello, Namuri-chan. It's time for Aries lesson. She looks at me and then back to Uraraka. Oh boy. Did you find Aries, another mama? I just turn around and begin to walk as Uraraka is a blushing mess. Just for that, Miss Midnight, no Aries cuddles for 4 days. I say as I grab Uraraka's shoulder. She is teasing. You. That's how she acts as Midnight. Like Nizu, she too enjoys messing with people. In much worse ways, though. Anyway, we should get to the house so you can meet the rest of the inhabitants. Also, fair warning, one is a giant. Don't freak out when you meet him. Though I do hope Melissa spoke to Mom and Lionheart to prevent teasing. Namuri rushed up pouting. You weren't serious about no Aries cuddles, were you? Come on, that's cruel. An unusual punishment, Zuko. I sigh before answering. Maybe. Help keep them from teasing Miss Uraraka, and I'll allow the Aries cuddles. Otherwise, no. Namuri smiles. Deal. So, Miss Uraraka, how, pray tell, did you two meet? Uraraka explained, and Namuri looked at me grumbling. I swear you planned that just so I couldn't tease you, didn't you? I smiled. Yes. Now let's go. I say as we walk a bit faster. As we get close, Uraraka freezes and starts to wobble. Zuko, I think she's broken. I looked at her and grumbled as I hoisted her on my shoulder. Not a word. We made it home and had the introductions. Thankfully with no teasing. Aries, though, in her standard, innocent way said, wow, she pretty too, just like Mama Melissa and Mama Nemu. I just walked over, patted her on the head before seeing the stunned look on Uraraka's face as I began the standard explanation. Once she understood, I showed her to a guest room and where the bathrooms and stuff were, and Mom had brought her some clothes that should fit her. Then went to my room and promptly said F you to dealing with any more stuff today and went to sleep. 2 weeks later, Melissa and Urarika both train at the beach as I finished my strength control training with Shining Mode, and Melissa learned a larger variety of spells, had began adding some offensive ones to her arsenal. Luckily, my head start with standard control helped me MSTR it early. Then we were contacted with Nana Shimura's gravesite. I went to the place with Ochako and Melissa in tow. We found it relatively easily. The girls looked a bit pale as I dug her up, but after doing so, I opened the coffin and immediately shut it before they saw. "How bad is it, Izuku?" asked Ochako. "Don't ask. Melissa, our mom, and Eri on the way?" She nodded slowly, saying yeah, with Aizawa and Nomuri as guards. "Great. Now all we have to do is drag the coffin over to the beach, and when they get here, contact Degoya and have him warp us there again." Ochako giggled. "Hopefully he doesn't make Nomuri faint," she said as we both deadpan. "You're the only one who met him who fainted, Ochako," we said in unison. "Hey." I was scared and my brain said not F this, all right? We laughed as we waited for them to arrive. "So, we taking Aizawa there with us or not?" I heard Melissa ask. I grinned. "Do you see Aizawa handling that well?" Heck, he was paler than normal for a week after just seeing the hologram of Degoya. They giggled as Mom, Eri, Nomuri, and Aizawa showed up. "Good point, Izuku," said Ochako as we waved them over. Aizawa, in his stupidity, asked to open the coffin. I smiled. "Help yourself, Justice Hobo. We will step back and let you see her." Everyone but Aizawa backed off a few steps. "Problem child, my name is not." "Oh, that's why." "Excuse me," he started to say as he opened the coffin, slamming it shut once he saw the contents and walking to the sea and promptly vomited. "Why did you let me see that, problem child?" I smiled. "You asked to open it. I figured saying Justice Hobo was enough to make you decide against it." Apparently, it was not. "Now I gotta go meet Degoya. You coming?" He pales at the question. "No thanks, Midoriya. I'll leave that to you all." I laughed. Then Nomuri asked a very important question. After he brings her back, how long before Eri calls her mama and asks about her chest pillows, I blushed. "Eri, please don't do either of those things. She would be grandma. And just like with Nomuri, Melissa, and Ochako, it's not nice to talk about the I trailed off as the girls blushed, and Aizawa pretended to be watching the sea. "Chest pillows, Eri. So let's avoid either of those with her," said my mom as I contacted Degoya. After warping to Degoya, we spent about 5 minutes introducing Nomuri, who promptly lost her mind and fainted. Well, as much weird CRP as she has seen, I figured she wouldn't react like Ochako did. I said as we sat her up and waited for her to come around. Once she was awake and settled down, Degoya walked to the coffin and placed his hand on it. Nana's POV. I woke up with a shot and immediately regretted it. As I bashed my head off something wooden. Ouch, son of a. I blinked as I was confused. The last thing I remember was being left to die by AFO as he walked away with me bleeding out. All alone, scared for my son and daughter, and started to tear up. Before I knew anything, I heard a knock. Inko's POV. I knocked on the coffin after I had something thump into it from the inside. It took a moment before I heard my mother's voice respond. Hello? Who is there and where am I?" I smiled brightly before Eri spoke up. "It's us, Grandma Nana." I sweat dropped at the simple explanation. "Mother, it's your daughter, Inko," I said as the coffin began to open slowly. As it did, I saw my mother's teary eyes. "Inko? But how? You're much older than I remember." Then she looked around the room, seeing the girls, then Eri. Finally, Izuku and Degoya. Before shutting the lid. "I'm still dead, aren't I?" I sigh at her query. "Degoya, can you help her?" He laughed, before snapping his fingers as he inserted the memories of myself, Izuku, and himself into her head. Holy hell, did that all really happen? She bellowed from inside, before kicking the lid off the coffin. "I have grandbabies. One has ungodly gifted power, and one is cute as a button wrapped in clouds." I laughed at her antics as she tackle-hugged Izuku as Eri watched before pouting. "Eri want grandma hugs too," as she reached her arms out. Mom smiled at her, then, "Get ready, Eri, for lots of grandma hugs," she said as she hugged Eri, who cuddled up squeezing her. Grandma Inko and Grandma Nana give Eri good hugs. But Papa is best, though he doesn't have chest pillows. We all sweat drop and facepalm as Mom laughs hard, before looking at me and then Izuku, who told her melons are called chest pillows. With a twitching raised brow, I sighed. That's what she called them since first time she saw Namiri. Apparently, she hadn't seen a grown woman from age 1, till of course Izuku and Namiri didn't help the situation. I teased as the 3 girls and Izuku all blushed. Izuku looked at me as if he were wounded. Hey, I never called them chest pillows. I smiled mischievously before saying true, but you did kind of pass out on them after saving Eri. Hence chest pillows. Izuku and Namiri turned beet red as Mom laughed hard. After about an hour, Degoya got serious. Human Nana, Shimura, we need your aid. It's about your successor. Nana looked unworried. Oh no, did AFO kill Toshi? She asked and felt all the killer intent in the room. No, grandmother, but I may kill him for what he's done with your power and to me. Degoya explains all of Trash Might's misdeeds and crimes. Izuku's POV. Nana was crying and begging to understand, but when it got to the part about me, she erupted in full fury. How do we take him down, Degoya? She said in freezing cold voice. Degoya smiled and motioned to I who stepped forward. Simple. I kick his, but then you, and I make him understand what a true hero is, and you either take back the power or we find a quirkless to give OFA. Melissa would be a prime candidate. Melissa blinked. Wait, what? She said as she looked around the room. I said, Melissa, you being quirkless would be a good candidate for OFA. You have went quirkless for 16 years, been tortured and weak. Even though you may act rude to others, me included, it's an act to protect yourself. You still harbor the soul of a hero deep within. Unlike me, who the power of OFA would be wasted on. You be the prime candidate, as it must be given to a quirkless or will kill them. We may not have time to find another quirkless with the heart and soul of a true hero. There's no telling when AFO will attack again. Melissa froze before she started to cry as Mom, Namiri, and Ochako hugged her. I looked at Nana and continued speaking. During the fight, we needed the return of a legend to break his spirit and allow him to realize his failings as a hero and successor. Hence we brought you back, grandmother. You get to correct the one mistake you made, and the world gets to see the fraud brought to the light. What do you say? She thinks on it for a moment. Very well, just don't kill him. He must face his crimes. Deal. I smiled. It's a deal, grandmother. She laughed. Hey, just call me Nana Lil Cinnamon Roll. Melissa chose this time to say something finally as I begged all known Deities to warp me out of existence. Well, Nana, he is far from little, but a cinnamon roll he is. I turned into a strawberry as Mom, Nana, Namiri, and Ochako blushed. Eri just said, yeah, Papa is really tall and muscly. We reached a silent agreement. Why, yes, Eri. That's exactly what Melissa meant, said Nana with a hug and a wink. Sorry, Izuku, but I'm stealing as many hugs as I can. I laughed as I said, well, who can blame you? To everyone else alive, not named Eri, she gives the best hugs. I smile as I look around the room. Well, we better get back. Degoya, can you warp us all to the house so we can get prepared? He smiled at us. Very well, human Izuku Shimura. I think it's past time Tashinori Yagi met the wrath of the Shimuras beat him to the ground, young one. We smiled as he warped us away. Nana was amazed at our place as we explained where we were living. I messaged Nizu that it was time and to bring all the staff to the house so we can show that Nana Shimura has returned. Oh, and Nana, I forgot to introduce you to the mentor of myself, Melissa, and Ochako. As Lionheart entered the room. Whoa, he's freaking huge, she said, stopping herself from cussing in front of Snowball. She and Lionheart both blushing. Well, yeah, but enough about what she said. It's nice to meet you, Nana, Shimura, grandmother of my successor. He said, causing everyone to laugh hard. Eri did too, as she misunderstood the meaning. 3-hour time skip. We had called a press conference and told the world of All Might's sins. Most didn't believe until we showed the videos showing everything he did. Luckily, Eri was kept away from the conference and watching cartoons with Lionheart. After an hour of showing everything he did, there were warrants out for his arrest, but no one was willing to do anything before I stood up. Toshinori Yagi, meet me, Izuku Shimura, at your MSDR's grave. It's time I fix my grandmother's mistake. Try me hero and find you have no power. Trashmite's POV. I was enraged. The quirkless freak showed the real me to the world, and then had the ball to challenge me, lying about being my MSDR's grandson. How dare that idiot do that? I'll kill him. Luckily, I still had my hero form for the day. I rushed to Degoya Beach only to find that brat a giant and Nana glaring at me. MSTR? You're alive, I said teary-eyed. Yes, I am, Intoshi. You done messed up. Time to pay for what you did to this world, and most importantly, to my grandson Izuku Shimura. Sikamizu. Before I knew what happened, I took a massively powerful blow to the face, sending me flying several hundred meters back. What the? Izuku's POV. Look around, Trashmite. We have cameras everywhere filming your destruction. It's time you gave that power to one deserving of it, instead of a cowardly RPSD and murderer who forgot he too was quirkless until my grandmother took pity on him. Are you ready, weakling? I said with venom, and he roared and charged at me with a full-power Detroit smash. I didn't even flinch. Is that it? Is that the limit of your ability to use OFA, Trashmite? Is this the power of a hero or the power of a villain who poses as one? He roared and began firing off smash after smash, all while I laughed, unmoving. How? How my smashes not hurt you at all? I laughed as grandmother spoke. Simple, because you are too weak, villain. My grandson has earned true strength and been blessed by a godly being, whereas you tricked me with false heroic passion and used it to gain fame, money, and power. You can't hold a candle to a true hero, Toshinori Yagi. So best give up now. Tears formed in his eyes as he refused to lose. I'll kill your quirkless freak of a grandson, then kill you, Nana. He foolishly yelled as I grabbed his fists out of midair. I released a massive amount of killer intent. SeaWorld, your hero lied to you. He is but a killer that is a power-mad, greedy, attention-seeking fool. Threaten me all you wish, I said as I broke his arms and hands. Threaten my family, and you get divine retribution. Now hold tight. All might this may hurt, I said as I began to throw massive blows at him, leaving his body ragged and broken. I then healed him and continued to beat him down again and again and again as the world watched on in shock. Katsuki's POV. I couldn't believe it. That Deku was Paragon's grandson, and he was wiping the floor with All Might. Why are people angry with how All Might treated those weakling quirkless? They don't matter to this world. Izuku's POV. I beat him and healed him for well past time for him to revert to his true form, showing he was nothing but a charlatan. Oh, I bet you're thinking if you were in your prime, you'd win, right? Let's try that, I said as I healed his injury. Even at max of his true form, he couldn't do much. How are you this strong, you quirkless freak? He asked, clearly tired. I charged up a beam attack and blasted him down. Still, he couldn't match my power. Pathetic. Give that power to a real hero, someone you could never touch in any way. Say Melissa Shield? He blanched. What does that dead CNT got to do with this? He bellowed. I laughed hard at that. You do know she's watching you, weakling. All Might opened his eyes at those words. What do you mean? Nana spoke. What do you think it means? God, for someone who graduated UA, you're an idiot, Toshinori. He snarled at us as I launched him up into the sky. He screamed the whole way up as I waited for him to fall down to almost hit ground before I slammed a right cross into his face. She was not killed, just born quirkless. Her daddy, dearest, in an effort to hide his shame, but unable to allow you to do as you did to so many before, imprisoned her. He tortured her. Now she lives at UA after I rescued her. She came to Japan in hopes to find her uncle, Might, to save her. How pathetic her uncle, Might, was just as horrible as her father. So now, you have two choices, give her quirk, or keep receiving a daily beatdown by me and Nana here. He instead chose to spit in my face. You stupid boy. Nana would never harm me, ha. Fool. I wiped my face off and looked at him with an evil smile. Let's test your theory. I threw him to Nana. He expected her to catch him, I suppose, but instead she began to beat his butt to the ground even further. I told you, Toshinori. You're no longer her beloved successor. You are just the next villain to be defeated by her. Tashinori laid in a broken heap on the sandy beach, crying from both the pain and the realization that not even his MSTR would spare him a moment's reprieve or pity him again. Fine. Here, take the quirk. Not like she could use it to do anything anyway. AFO is dead, so this quirk serves no purpose anymore. I laughed. So hard I laughed. He is not dead, dumbass. You never recovered the body of AFO after your fight with him. Until you see his corpse, then he is still alive. Besides, even if he was dead, this quirk would still serve a purpose. To give back to this world, to save others, and show the world that even a quirkless person could mean something. So enjoy the time in prison, no matter how short it is. As once the last of its embers burn away, you won't last long. You will waste away into nothingness. Forgotten entirely before you die. Pathetic weak fool, I said as the cops came up with quirk-canceling cuffs and cuffed him before they dragged him away. I sigh, not feeling as great as I'd imagine I would have after beating him down. Oh well, at least now the world knows the truth of things. Now to see what else is in store. I say as I walk up to Nana and Lionheart. Are you two ready to go? They looked at me happily smiling. Why not? Beats staring into water all day, grandson. I laughed at that as we took off to UA with just a sonic boom to signal our departure. Hopefully soon we can get Melissa ready enough to accept the power. Izuku's POV. A couple months have passed since the arrest of All Might, and Melissa has become strong enough to use OFA. Ochako has become much stronger with her new limit of 6 tons, as opposed to 3 in just a few months of training. She also learned how to select the amount of gravity, reduced instead of all. Midnight and Nijire have improved as well. Midnight can now produce more than just sleeping gas, and its effects vary, from tear gas to laughing gas and any in between. I also managed to make her gases work on women just as well as men. Nijire has started to increase her stamina and the speed of her attacks and power. Even little Eri has now become far better at speech and more understanding of the basic schooling she has been taught. It may take longer for her to learn, but she was taught nothing from 1 to 5 years of age, so it's not her fault. Today, however, Mom got a call from Annie Mitsuki. Her and Uncle Masaru had finally decided to get divorced. Well, Masaru decided. He has a year left to live, as was diagnosed with a form of cancer that his quirk had been causing him. He didn't want Mitsuki to suffer having to take care of him, which I get. But come on, dude, she been your wife through thick and thin, homie. Mom offered to let her live with us, but she would need to learn some things about her beloved dog. I mean son. Sighing, I had to fly with Mom to the meeting spot, which meant Nana, Lionheart, Oka, and Mel have to watch Eri. We agreed to meet with her and would explain everything Katsuki did through the years and show her the recordings that were from Alder Elementary and middle schools. We hadn't seen each other in a very long time, but she had seen the videos of me taking down the sludge villain and All Might. She was amazed at how jack to the nines, as she puts it, that I am. We landed at the spot, and I went through explaining everything and showing the videos we have as evidence to F that doggy's life up hardcore style. He. Then the universe says, F your day, you're my beach. So let me explain. See, Mitsuki, for all her rage mom qualities deep down, is the same as my mother. Albeit extremely deep, but I digest. I'll digress. Whatever the word is. Ahem. Anyway, back to story. Mitsuki was crying and giving me a bone-breaking hug. I know Kaste broke. Are we sure glycerin is her only quirk? As she's doing that, I see an evil gleam in Mom's eyes and immediately tell the universe I will destroy it, because Mom's got a plan, and they tend to cause me endless torment. What are you thinking up now, Mom? She gives a sadistic laugh that puts Nizu to shame, and both me and Mitsuki feel our spines shatter and souls exit in terror before Mom forces them back inside us. 2 things I need to explain. First, Izuku. 1. You've been crushing on your Aunt Mitsuki for years. 2. She felt the same way. Ipso facto, the destruction of Pomeranian starts now. Well, curse you too, Mom, I told you that in confidence. And cue my brain self-immolating Inko. That was a secret, damn it. I blink as Mitsuki yelled at and look from one to the other. Wait, what? Before I pass out. Proper response, I suppose. After waking back up with my head in Mitsuki's lap. Hella nice, by the way. Please never tell her I said that. Or, do I do not care? What a weird dream. I thought Mom told you I had a crush on you, and vice versa. She sighs. Nope, that's what happened. And 5, then you passed out, Aizu. Oh, come on, damn it, universe. Why does all this weird thing have to happen to me? Oh, that might be my fault. Well, enjoy, child Izuku Shimura. Oh, well, that actually makes sense since it's Degoya's fault. Wait, why is he doing this? Never mind, back to the wordy words of storiness. Oh, good, Izuku. Hee, are you two ready to implement neuter the Pomeranian? Asks Mom still with an evil look. Sigh like we have a choice. What's this great plan of yours? She giggled. To get you two married. Mitsuki and I blink at each other, then look at Mom. What the hell? Mom/Inko. Mom cackles. Well, we all know you two love each other. Mitsuki is divorced. Soon marrying you two would be like a massive kick to the nuts to Pomeranian. Then we start the trial of Dog Boy. I look at Mitsuki. You know we're screwed if we don't do this, right? Mitsuki blushes and nods. As Mom adds, and oh, we will add Melissa, Ochako, Namiri, and Nijire to the marriage as well. Oh, F. Degoya, I think I'm screwed. Like, very screwed. Now you'll be fine. Hee, plus there will be more members of your HRM. I admit Earth culture is very exciting. Enjoy HRM, King Izuku. Oh, come on, this is going to SCK. Lots. And lots. At least I'll have plenty of SEC, I guess. Damn it, Izuku. Stop perving out. Okay, it's obvious if we don't agree you're going to make our lives hell. I groan out. Wait, so Izuku has 4 other girls already? Who knew he was such a lady killer? Giggles Mitsuki. I look at her, why are you so happy about that? Also, the only time did any SEC stuff with was Melissa, just not gone all the way. And why am I telling you this? I'm so screwed. Mitsuki laughs, no, but you will be. A lot from at minimum 5 CC ladies. Hee. Huh. Bright side it is. Well, I guess Eric can finally call the mama and be accurate, I suppose. Wait, does that mean the home will need remodeled? Sigh. I'm an idiot for a genius. Like, seriously, why should I care if the home needs remodeled if I will have 5 wives that all scare the hell out of me? Sigh. So, when are we doing this? I ask and Mom cackles. Today. Like right now, we go to Nizu and Blamo, a quintet of wives for my amazing son. Ooh, the amount of grandbabies I'll have. I look at Mitsuki. I think we just solved the answer to why she wants this. She has grandbaby fever, a disease that infects mothers when their sons reach 15 years of age or older to F up their sons' lives just to gain grandbabies. I've heard horror stories about if the son doesn't follow the plan, and since I am rather attached to my PP, I have no choice but to do as asked. Mitsuki cackles as I pick her up, and me and Mom fly to Nizu. Sigh, life is a drag. Wait, one of the wives is already a mother. Well, for God's sake, I'm a dumbass. So does this mean I can ground and punish Katsuki, and he has to listen? Mom laughs like a madwoman. Maybe, but he's going to prison soon, so does it matter? I shake my head. Nope, but Emma make the judge enforce some hilarious punishments on him. Though I think learning I'm married to his mom is a fitting punishment. I think I have an idea of an amazing punishment once he's arrested. Ha. Katsuki's POV. The hag called me after school. Been weird as hell since her and that beta woman got divorced. She was all sad and mopey and all, but now she's happy as hell. And maybe she started using weed. Dunno, don't care. I walked to the address she gave me and, holy cow, it's you. Wait, what? Why is the hag here, and the hell am I doing here? I wonder when some hobo with dead eyes meets me at the gate and tells me to come with him to Nizu's office. Okay, Justice Hobo, or whatever your hero name is. Apparently this extra was annoyed as he glared at me. Okay, Emma, blow you up. I try to use my quirk, and F, all of nothing happens. What the? The hobo gives the creepiest smile I ever saw, making my spine shiver. That's my quirk. I can erase yours. And since I'm a pro hero and a teacher here, you done goofed, but... Well, F me sideways, this ain't good. Then the hobo slaps quirk-canceling cuffs on me and drags me with his invincible scarf. He somehow moved with his mind, which I kind of admit this dude is terrifying. Not to me, obviously, for our strongest. But to extras, he must seem unbeatable. We reach the office, and the doors open. What the? I ask as I see that quirkless freak Deku in a tux with 4 whores and the hag in wedding dresses. Akatsuki Bakugo, welcome to the start of the end of your hero career villain. Some talking rat thing says. Izuku's POV. Ha ha ha, the look on his face when he sees us is hilarious. Do you mean villain? I'm a hero. Mitsuki and the other four women all grow tick marks and I sigh. No, kiddo, you're an egomaniacal psychopath who will be facing many years in prison for the things you did to Izuku Shimura, let alone all the other kids. Katsuki gets said that thing don't count, as those guys are weak. I sigh, Kuntsuki Bakaho, are you Red Dead? Because by your logic I could bend you over this desk and RPE you, and it wouldn't be a crime since you're so pathetically weaker than me. That one broke everyone as they all was laughing like crazy as Katsuki blushed and yipped at me. Anyway, you're kind of ruining our wedding ceremony here, so shut up, little yapping puppy. Adopting a look of utter rage and confusion, he barks, some the hell you talking about, weak, quirkless freak Deku? I sigh before glaring at him. I beat the living hell out of Trash Might for 5 hours using only 10% of my power, yet you are saying I am weak? There's no maybe any more girls, he's a Red Dead puppy. Listen up, Mutt. Your mother, Miss Midnight, Ochako Uraraka, Melissa Shield, and one other of your victims who is now one of the big three thanks to our combined efforts, Nijai or Hado, are all becoming my wives. Now, someone clamp his mouth shut and let's get on with this. Haha, dude looked like he was dropping bricks. Before he could say anything, Eraserhead covered his mouth with his scarf. Anyway, we go through the wedding, and holy hell, it was amazing kissing my 5cc wives. Ochako had strawberry-flavored lips, and felt like could make the earth itself float through space. Wherever she desires it to go, even for her first kiss, it was amazing. Melissa I've kissed a lot, but every time it's an amazing, powerful surge of energy. Nijire had never kissed anyone either, and the experience was surprisingly good. Her lips were soft, and as we kissed, the familiar surge of energy flowing through me whenever I kissed someone was at max. It was as if we were both beings of unlimited energy coursing through the world. Following that was Namuri, and holy cow, was she an amazing kisser. I think my brain exploded and rebuilt itself as that massive power surged tore its way through my body. It felt as if we were floating through an endless sea without a care or danger to be found. Then came the kiss I've been dreaming of since I first started noticing girls. I felt as if the world vanished beneath us, skiing us into an endless abyss of darkness, and the powerful surge of energy created a blast of light, causing the creation of entire universes and worlds. After all that, we looked to see a crying Katsuki. Haha, look at that brat's face. Yelled Mitsuki, you know, this technically makes me your daddy, right, dog boy? I said, chuckling. He tried to break out of the cuffs, but it just looked like a 2-year-old flailing angrily. It was hilarious. He, especially Mitsuki and I, are given permission to do the ultimate punishment on the Pomeranian, which surprisingly she agreed to do. See, the thing about being quiet during school meant people would say anything they really shouldn't and not notice who was around to hear. Once I explained the entirety of why the punishment I chose was chosen, she cackled for about an hour before agreeing to do it. We dragged him to an improvised interrogation room. Only there would be zero interrogating. He was sat down and his cuffs locked into the slot on the desk, meaning he can't do anything to stop what's going to go down. There also was a viewing room for my 4 other wives, so they could watch. Popcorn and other foods were prepared as well as drinks. I purposefully left all other people out because while it's a hella torturous thing, there's no physical violence about to happen. Deku, the hell you and that quirkless loving hag want now? Gonna interrogate me and all? Well, I ain't got a thing to say to you too. So F off. I laugh, and Mitsuki smiled devilishly. Oh, Katsuki, this is no interrogation. See, I happen to know you're sick as greatest fantasy. You really should never have said that thing around me. Now my 4 other wives are watching, so please make the show enjoyable. I informed Mitsu of how you wanted to do her and my mother in front of your daddy, and me, well, how about we reverse that to a degree, and I, your new daddy, F Mitsu in front of you. Oh, that must SCK, seeing your former best friend and biggest victim, F, one of your greatest views of women, your own mother, you Oedipus complex. Katsuki paled and had a green tinge to his cheeks. I never said that. I sigh as Mitsuki and I start undressing. Shut up, Brett, you can't lie to us. I was sick as hell when heard you had the hots for me and Inko, especially after watching everything you did to Izuku, even when you told him to kill himself. Dozens of times you would talk about me sexually, and once you even masturbated in class to a pic of me in a swimsuit you sick as hell tiny PP having. Bakugo growls before roaring how he's way bigger than Dot. I chose this moment to pull my hard as steel massive PP out. And he blushed hard before he frothed at the mouth. Mitsuki was, well, let's say impressed, as she got so what she leaked through her thong. She smiled. Little Aizu has a monster PP for his wives. As we hear Melissa chime in, I told you all his PP was huge. She then took off her bra and thong and knelt in front of me before looking me in the eyes and saying "Itadekamasu" as she began to lick my PP, all over coating it in saliva. She then squeezed her massive melons around my PP and pumped them on it as she seeked the top 3 inches. I was immediately squeaking and groaning from the immense pleasure my PP was receiving. Oh my God, please someone kill me. Just shoot me in the head. F you Deku, she's mine, yapped the Pomeranian. No, she's my wife. Ooh, that's good Mitsu. She winked at me, and after a couple minutes, she went from Melon's job to straight up deep-throating me like a champ. All 10 inches would be inhaled. Bakugo kept barking, but I was doing all I could to hold out as long as possible. Holy hell, Mitsu is a legend. I heard the girls all shout. I felt my SBRM ready to launch after 2 minutes of this. I'm gonna come Mitsu pull back to just the tip and said quam quam on my mouth before going deep again. I couldn't hold any longer and launched massive amounts of cum deep down her throat. She swallowed 2 full times but still had 1 mouth full left. She kept it in as she pulled off my PP. She showed me, the girls, and Katsuki before we did what Nizu suggested. Open up, Katsuki. Your mommy has a gift for you, I said as I walk over to him and force his head still and his mouth open. Katsuki stated, crying as Mitsuki held her mouth a few inches over his and let the cum release into his mouth. After his mouth was full, I clamp it shut until he is forced to swallow it all. I hear my 4 other wives laughing their melons off, shouting things, and it roughly consisted of "That's amazing. Holy cow, that's funny as hell. Do it again. Make him clean your PP." Mitsuki heard the last one and smiled at me. Shall we do that before and after the next part? I laugh as Namuri says she got a text from Nizu saying to do what Mitsuki said. Well, we can't disappoint the principal now, can we? I say as I grin maliciously at a terry-fed Katsuki. First though, Katsuki, what was your opinion of my cum? Katsuki blushes and shouts, "It was horrible," before Mitsuki laughs, saying, "Then why you blushing and lying? That is the very nectar of the gods, so delicious and sweet." I then look at her and say, "Well, we are following orders. Katsuki, time to clean daddy's pages." He blushes and panics. Now, no, this Katsuki, if you bite down, I will regenerate, and you'll have to clean the vital fluid up too. So get to work, beta bottom. He pales as Mitsuki grabs his head and forces it towards my PP. Growling and blushing Katsuki gets to work and ends up gagging a few times, cleaning all the cum off cause he tried to inhale my huge PP, just like mommy. Failed miserably at it. I then pull out once it's clean. That was subpar for a .001 out of 100 at most. Now for the fun part. Impregnating Mitsuki as puppy has to watch his greatest victim F his ideal goddess as he can't do anything. So Mitsu, want to go doggy as you lean against the table? She smiles, seems fitting considering it's the Ret dead dog's punishment. She leans against the table with that perfect rear sticking out, wagging at me. I smirk as I line up at her entrance. By the way, 2-inch man, this isn't the end. Once we finish, you get to clean daddy's PP, then go to the police station with Detective Tsukachi, as you'll be arrested. Hee. Enjoy the show, girls. As I pump into her wet, tight pages. Oh, Izuku, you're so huge, Ais. As I start pounding that wet PP a bit faster. Holy cow, how are you? So tight, Mitsu? She's squeaking loud as the girls are whooping and cheering. What we didn't know was they was all rubbing their pussies too. Meanwhile, Dog Boy is begging me to stop his mommy. Well, Masaru was OF very small. Like, oh, Katsuki. I smile devilishly as I do her faster. I look at Katsuki. I'm never going to stop on my wife. Mitsuki gets louder as she arches her back as I hold her up and fondle her melons when she squirts all over my pages. "Oh yes, Izuku," she shouts as she squirts, and Katsuki vomits, realizing I just made his mommy deers come after only 5 minutes. After recovering, she says, "Holy, this PP is amazing. I've never come from being done before without rubbing my CLT as my exes did me." I smiled genuinely as we heard the 4 other wives suddenly have their own orgasms. "You made all 5 of us orgasmizu," said Mitsu. I chuckle. While I was chosen by a godly being to be granted the powers of so far 11 of the most legendary heroes from various worlds, so yes seems fitting. Mitsu chuckles, "Well then, let's put them to use, and you F me till you put some legendary seed in my womb. I want to try having an actual decent baby for once," she says as Katsuki cries like a girl. I start up even faster than before, saying, "Oh, quit crying, villainous bitch boy, Kuntsuki Bakaho." He cries even harder, but I do not care, as I'm in heaven a goddess. After 15 minutes, and Mitsuki coaxing 2 more times, I feel I'm about to burst out to come OF. As Mitsuki says to come deep in her. I pump 2 more times, and when I'm all the way in, I unleash a massive load as she comes yet again. "Oh yes, fill me up," she shouts as she splashes her own orgasm on my huge pages. The 4 other wives, all having come twice. After we recovered, and I pull out we again, make Katsuki clean my PP as he cries like wuss. "Just be glad we went easy on you, puppy. As Inko wanted you castrated and your own PP shoved up your rear with the hole cauterized shut," says Mitsuki as Katsuki finished cleaning my pages. We then get dressed and drag him off to Tsukauchi. "Ha, F that little doggy." Myself and my wives then head to the house and get freshened up. Tsukauchi later that night sent us the list of crimes Katsuki was facing with a grand total of at minimum 30 years in prison. We laughed our butts off as we get to the MSTR bedroom, which has been vastly enlarged as the house was now 4 floors, and the entire top floor was 2 rooms, a very large bathroom, and a massive MSTR bedroom with an enormous bed. I was actually surprised, though, that Nijire had her parents' permission to marry me, which was amazing, as we only met once or twice, but apparently they fell in love with me. So awesome. Ochako and Melissa, since technically were wards of UA, simply got permission from Mizu, as he found it funny as hell. Nimue and Mitsuki hit it off as friends instantly. Mitsuki even saw through the midnight act, as she remembered me talk about her. On second thought, Degoya, "Thank you, my liege. Wait when you said more about how many more. I only hear cackling sent to me from him before. Don't worry about that. Get some rest. Tomorrow is going to be a long day for you." Yeah, that didn't worry me. As we woke up, I found myself under a pile of half-naked hot chicks, and was surprisingly okay with that. Sighing, I woke them all up without meaning to. As I unlocked my 6 power set, I gained incredibly powerful telekinesis and telepathy. We all got up and dressed as Nimue had to work. Nijire had training to do with the big 3 Ochako, and Melissa were studying, and I had to help Mitsuki move her stuff into the house, which went swimmingly. After getting her stuff moved in and Aerie and her were spending the day together, my dumb ass decided to go on a walk around town. Remember how Melissa says I always find girls in trouble? Well, she was right. I was walking down a street and checked down the alley to find a slim punk rocker and what I'd describe as a CC goddess of a princess with a spiky black ponytail stuck to some great ball things and electricity arcing off them. Now thoroughly said, right the F off, I draw my swords and head into the alley where a blonde-haired electricity user and a midget with great ball for hair failed to notice my approach. He got the buxom babe we wanted. So what do we do with the flat-chested lesbo? The sparky one says what the grape is saying. While one of us, the big-titted one, the other can practice on the lesbo, they start to undo their breathes, but before they could go any further, I stand behind them, and fast as lightning I bring my blades to their throats. "Excuse me, gentlemen, but who the F do you two think you are? In case you hadn't known, Miss Kyokujiro and Miss Momo Yayorozu are engaged to me. Now, if you boys don't want to die, I would suggest begging for mercy. Not that you'd get any from me. Just like trash, might didn't either." They turn to see me, smiling at them with closed eyes. Apparently too terrifying for the grape, as he pees, and poos himself before passing out. I sigh as I look at Sparky. What's your decision, Denki Kaminari? You prematurely gonna blow your load and get more Ret dead than usual? Oh, well, go ahead. The idiot does that. Like, really? I'm immune to all elements now. Sigh, terribly sorry for saying that we were engaged girls. Figure that would scare them. Now the one-pump wonder and the grapist are in for a rude awakening. First, let me remove those balls from you and get you free. Sorry, I'm not going to RP either of you. Oh, well, that's easy. I'm the strongest telekinetic and telepath in the universe. Yes, Miss Jiro, I can read minds. I just got this power set, so it's hard to control. I'm very sorry for the mental intrusions. Once I have control, I should be able to hold it. Oh, I thank you too, as I was very accurate with such comment. Hee hee. I place my swords on the ball, and I disintegrate them, leaving their clothing intact. Holy cow, dude, how broken are you? I laugh. Well, depends on the terms. If you mean overpowered, well, I posse's so far 11 power sets, each from one of the most legendary warriors across the universe. Why, yes, Miss Yairozu, I am in fact the boy who beat the sludge villain and decimated All Might after proving his guilt to the world. My name is Izuka Shimura. A pleasure to meet the queen of punk and goddess of creation. I finish with an over-exaggerated bow, as the two girls both blush crimson. Oh, whoa, slow down, Miss Jiro. Please do not ahem, jump my bones. My wives may disagree with that. At least get to know them before doing that, he. Oh, hang on. I text Tsukachi about what happened, and he's on his way. A police detective friend of mine is on his way. Once we give our statements, I shall take you to the being who granted me these powers. He wishes to give you each a gift as an apology for what you two have gone through. Momo speaks up. So we're basically going to meet God? I chuckle. Well, while Degoya is a god-level being, he's not the god in the Bible, so that's a yes/no. I say as I open my pocket dimension and hand them each some water to drink, and once they grab the bottles and touch hands, I heal them. Holy cow. Do you just heal me? I smile and nod. Yeah, figured you would prefer not feeling the constant spasms after Sparky, MC, one pump there zapped ya. Kyoko was impressed by the roasting and healing, and Momo was in awe at the powers I used. How long have you had all these powers? Momo asked. I smiled. Since the sludge villain killed me, and Degoya turned back time to rescue me, and gave me the first. If you recall the battle with Overhaul, I gained the 11th after beating him, which allowed me to fully heal my now daughter, Eri Shimura, as Overhaul had been torturing her for her vital fluid. Both girls grimaced. How badly? Asked Kyoka. I frowned. Kai Chisaki, aka Overhaul, had the quirk Overhaul. He could completely disassemble and reassemble anything his hands touched. He effectively blew her up and returned her, killing and reviving her thousands of times. Her quirk Rewind can rewind anything biological to a previous state. He was using her vital fluid to make bullets to permanently erase quirks. Eri had scars over 90% of her body. Ahem. So I was granted my healing abilities to repair her and remove them. They were horrified that anyone could do that to a little girl. I sighed she was treated that way because the only people who knew about her were either Overhaul's men, dead, or in a coma. No one else knew about the child until Nizu one night saw her running through the streets. I had been having visions of her as well, and I was tasked with rescuing her, which I did with a powerful vengeance. They were amazed at just how powerful my healing is. Dude, you sure this Degoya didn't make you a god? I laughed. I'm sure. I am human, just insanely strong. Right now, only a couple dozen beings in this universe are more powerful than me, with a couple hundred able to go to a draw with me in combat. Tsukachi showed up and took the boys away and got our statements. We then head to Degoya's vessel. The girls were very shocked to see Degoya. He gets it a lot. I even told two of my wives who met him about him, and they still fainted when they saw him. Degoya chuckles. Well, let's see, for human Kyokujiro, I have a special gift. A musical artifact that can turn into any instrument you longing. You could even plug your jacks into them and send the vibrations blasting out. Now for human Momo Yairozu, I have a special item. It has the molecular composition of every type of object in this universe. But since the book would weigh 15 tons, I have condensed it into this holographic dictionary. effectively making you as human as Izuku Shimura stated a goddess of creation. To say they were surprised was one hell of an understatement. But are we deserving of such gifts? Asked Momo. I chime in. Hey, if a god gives you something, just take it and run. Hee in seriousness, yes. You both are on heroic paths, same as I. These will make you both top 10 worldwide. If Jiro learns that she is appealing and CC regardless of her body composition and stops being so down on herself, she'd be one hell of a badass siren. And if you Momo Yaoyorozu stop downplaying your abilities and gain confidence, then you truly become Creati. You both are appealing and CC, yes, but neither of you are dumb, ugly, unfit for hero work, or in any way, shape, or form inferior to anyone. I can help with both of your issues. Just need to inform Melissa it happened again. She has a theory. I have a hidden quirk for finding appealing girls in trouble. Personally, I think it's Degoya having fun, but men no skin off my nose. Side 10 inches if you must know Miss Jiro. I'd really rather not drop true in front of Degoya to prove that. Sigh. Degoya, we're going to the medical wing. Follow me, girls, I sigh as I trudge along to medical wing as the girls desperately need proof. Degoya laughs loudly. Once inside, the girls blush at me. Okay, I will show you, but for the love of God, please keep your hands to yourselves. I have 5 wives, and they scare me a hell of a lot more than you two do. I drop true, and the girls nearly faint, both drooling. I then pull my breeds back up. Happy now? 'Cause now I feel awkward. Anyway, we need to return to Earth. Oh, and Jiro, I'll tell Nizu to allow you the use of that artifact during the exams. Let's go, girls. Also, you're still drooling. I laugh as they rub the drool away and follow me. I say farewells to Degoya and take the girls back to Earth, and they get on their way. I walk for about an hour after having told Melissa what happened in her mind, confirming her theory. When for God's sake I see 3 girls surrounded by villains. Now I see why you said a long day. Is this the last of it, Degoya? He mentally says, maybe, which scares me. I sigh and walk up to the villains. Pardon me, good sirs, but can you give directions to how messed up you are? They turn and see me, smiling, holding my swords. Realizing nope, they try to run. I shot a few key blasts, knocking them all out. Then help the girls. Toru Hagakure, Mina Ashido, and Tsuyu Azui were their names. I settle them down, explain. Things Takachi comes does, all he does, and then take them to Degoya too. Each receiving some gift in some fashion. Toru and Tu both got their quirks enhanced, so Toru is visible and has an adaptive costume that will turn visible and invisible with her. Tsuyu is immune to the cold and has active camo to start with, but also is given an adaptation that will allow her to have a more expressive face. Mina is given what is effectively called an electro-accelerator gun that runs on her own body's acid and is supercharged with electricity to do some damage. We say peace out homie to Degoya and head back to Earth. I've already figured out the plan from Degoya why I always meet girls like this. They all have a link to me for some unforeseen reason, but each one has a big part to play in a battle far off from now. Back to walking around, I stop at Mom's last hospital she worked at to speak with a few of the patients I met. I see a girl with white and red hair crying and looking terrified. I ask her if she's okay, and she recognizes me. You're the kid that thrashed All Might, right? I nod, and she pulls me along to a room with a woman with white hair. These are Rei and Fuyumi Todoroki, wife and daughter of Endeavor, who I now thoroughly wish to kill. I explain things to them and open the window. So you two hotties feel like escaping Endeavor before I go beat the hell out of him? They blush and just nod. I smile at them. Gonna hang on tight, it may be a bumpy flight. Confused until I grab each one by the waist and fly to UA. Scared I was going to fall, they held on tight for a few seconds before realizing I can fly. What can't you do? Asked Ray. I laugh. I can't help but meet and rescue appealing and CC women. Hell, today alone, it's been 7, including you two. They blush even more. I land at UA and take them to Nizu once again, confirming Melissa's theory until I pull her aside and explain the fact that this is all Degoya's doing and that each person I rescue will play a part in a big battle in the future. She smirks and says, yeah, but you gotta marry the CC ones for that to work. I sigh. Degoya, there better not be any more today. I'm beat, man. I still have to go fight Endeavor. He said that was it for some time, and I'm thanking him profusely. We take Rei and Fuyumi to the house and introduce them to everyone. I then tell everyone where I'm going and exit stage right. So, this was the end of part 2 of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.